and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Media Buff Guys, the podcast about anything and everything media related. I'm your host, Lord Producer, Editor, and Distributor Ed, with my fellow co-host Matt, Lord Deviate. Say hello.
God damn it. Hey, your title's way too long for obvious reasons, and I don't deviate. I'm just smarter than you, and I see all the connections.
And of course, our lady hyper-focused Lane.
Hello.
And once again, our guest, my lovely wife Jen, who I'm now dubbing Lady Bridgerton because she binged the entire season in like 2 days. I don't know how she does that or where she finds the time.
It's 8 episodes, so it's 8 hours long.
It's playing in the background when the kids are doing their thing.
Either way, on today's episode, we are continuing our talk about dragons, more particularly House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 6. And with that being said, this is your first official spoiler warning because as last time, we will go into some heavy details about the episode, meaning we will dissect it piece by piece. Well, Lane will dissect it piece by piece, and Matt and I will just say quips and stuff.
That's right. To keep it quick.
Impossible at this point.
I know.
If you've been listening to this series this far, thank you for really, putting in the work because, we know it's a lot, but there's a lot to unpack. And before we begin, a quick word from our affiliate, Maono. Maono is one of the leading companies in budget-friendly mics and audio interfaces. We're using the mics again here, so you can probably hear us a lot better now. And they're tailored to fit one's budget, whether you're just starting out or you're a pro and you need some high-end equipment without going into debt. Anyways, so if you're listening to this episode, use code MediaBuff to get 10% off. They are having a sale right now.
Great segue, Ed.
I know, right? So if you want to get an additional 10% off of some items already marked for sale, you can definitely use the code. It does stack. And as previously mentioned, we are talking about House of the Dragon titled Small Folk. So with that being said, Lane, take it away.
Okay, so the episode starts out really good with a whole shot of the Lannister army, and then they're carting around lions, which I thought was kind of weird.
Well, isn't that their sigil?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I feel like a dragon's kind of more like, you know what I mean? I feel like they're just toting around these lions to be like, we have our own house animal, but I'm pretty sure those lions aren't trained to target people that aren't Lannisters, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And they're going to one of the lords that is underneath their command, which is the Gold Tooths.
The gold tooths or the gold toots?
Tooth, like your teeth.
Tooth.
Okay. Gold tooth, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And they just have a lot of gold because wherever their castle is, they're just, I don't know, seated in the area where they can mine a lot of gold, I guess. So, what's his name? Jason? Because there's two brothers. It's Jason and Tyland.
The
and
twins.
I always get them which one is where. I think Tyland's on the small council.
Yeah, Tyland's on the small council.
Yeah, so Jason arrives and... Yeah.
Arrogant prick.
Yeah, pretty much declares that he's brought 7,000
Yeah, 7,000 men.
And his whole army and then some, and
my dick is bigger than your dick.
Yeah,
basically.
Pretty much, just kind of bragging about his size.
Yeah, where there's they have 500, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the Gold Tooths are a smaller house, so they only have a 500 men ready to contribute. Where Jason kind of just laughs in his face and is like, "That's it. Well, I have 7,000." So of course he's like, "Well, we're about to go to Harrenhal, right? That's where we're about to go right now." And he's like, no.
I wanted to send a raven.
I don't want to put my feet up.
He's like, send a raven out to Aemon and tell him when he's ready to join us, then we'll go. Otherwise, we're just we're chilling here for a while. We've been traveling, and
Our
you
lions
guys are gonna
hungry.
have you guys are gonna show us a nice time while we stay, essentially. And then his face is just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I guess. And then next scene is like a close up of like Eamon reading this raven from Jason that Tylan got, and he's pissed.
Yeah, his
He is
response was
pissed.
epic.
He dares
Yeah.
with haste.
Yeah, and he's pretty much just like, your brother needs to
Yeah.
learn his place, and I'm not a dog to be called at beck and command, and he better march his ass to fucking Harrenhal, or else a dragon's gonna be the least of his problem, like worries, you know? You know, and essentially it's because, you know, Damon is there with Caraxes, so everyone's scared now, and now everyone wants the defense of a dragon to, you know, defend them from other dragons.
They have a dragon, so we need a dragon.
Yeah, after the Battle of Rook's Rest, they're like, oh shit, this is really what dragons can do, because if you think about it, like, most of these people have never seen dragons
In
combat, or like the sheer destruction of what they can do. It's just what they've heard they can do, and, you know, history and whatnot, and, you know, obviously Harrenhal is a good sign of what they can do, but like, this is the first time any of these people have actually seen dragons like go to war, and it's now they're all terrified, and nobody wants to go to war without a dragon to protect them from other dragons. And
Oh, dragons are deadly. Look at that.
right, yeah,
The sky
and you know,
puppies are mean.
you can't really blame them, you know, like, I don't want to just walk to my fiery death either, you know. But Aemond is pretty pissed off that he was summoned, and decides that they need to enlist the help of the Triarchy, which is a callback to the first season. That's who
The
they
crab
were-
people.
Yeah, that's who they were fighting, is the Triarchy, and the Triarchy is just like a land.
Pirates.
Yeah,
Basically.
essentially, like, it's ruled by pirates. Like, there's like these three factions that kind of co-rule the Triarchy, and they're just a bunch of sea pirates.
Basically.
But they don't really get along. Just
No,
With
it's-
anybody, yeah.
No, yeah,
Not with
and
each
sometimes
other,
they
not
don't
with
even get
anybody
along
else.
with each other.
It's
you
like-
know, it's just
It's like all the cartels living in harmony.
You stay away from my property, I'll
Yes.
stay away from your property.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
But they consist of Mer, Lys, and Tyrosh, essentially.
The
And
founding
Lys-
sisters.
Yeah, and Lys is like a city that all these places obviously get mentioned in Game of Thrones when you're following like Daenerys' story in the East. So kind of we're supposed to kind of have an idea of who what these places are. But pretty much Aemon wants to get rid of the blockade that the Valerians have put up for Rhaenyra, which is blocking all the food getting to
Thanks to
the Red
Corlys.
Keep. Yeah, Corlys' fleet, and that's why all the small folk are essentially starving, and they have no food because that's a big source of where they would get their goods from.
Yeah, it's a trading route, basically.
Yeah. And then, you know, after mentoring, trying to get help from the Triarchy, you know, Allison is just like, I don't really think that's a good idea.
She's
And even, you know, Sir, what's his name? Your favorite person. Orwell?
Alaris? Oh,
Nope.
Orwell.
Orwell, yeah.
Yeah, he backs him up.
Meister.
Yeah, the Meister. Orwell even agrees with him and is just like, yeah, you know, like...
Esmond just steps on them both, though. He's
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up, I'm talking.
Pretty much. And then, you know, they even, you know, she is just like, you know, we can't trust them. Maybe you know, and he cuts him off, and pretty much, he pretty much tells Tylan, like, no, you are going to get this Triarchy to work for us.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do, because your brother just pissed me off. Like,
Yeah.
And this is the only way, like, you're going to redeem, like, his actions, is to make this happen, essentially. And then the other guy who's in court, who's just annoying. Who's that other guy? What's his name?
That is... Hang on. That's Jasper Ironrod Wild.
Yeah, okay, I just don't like him, and there's a reason I just refuse to remember his name.
He's kind of a one-off character.
He's just, yeah,
He'll
you
probably
know.
die in a couple of episodes.
He's always at the council, but he just says the dumbest shit.
Yeah, and he's always making the facial expressions like to what everybody's saying. He's always like making faces to like everything.
He always sits next to Orwell as well, and he kind of mimics him. He's like, "Oh my god, did you just hear that? Did you see that? Orwell, did you see that?"
He's just a instigator with no real input, and anytime they ask him for his opinion, he just is like, we should do this, and everyone's like, no, shut up, dumbass.
Yeah. So
No respect at all.
yeah, so I
None.
can't remember if it's like Alicent that asks about the Greyjoys.
She does. She's like, maybe we can ask them for help.
Yeah,
which
so
he says.
instead, and so he's like, well, you know, they're being kind of stubborn about helping us right now. They really would need to be persuaded.
Maybe a marriage, maybe?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
a
that's what-
marriage. And she's just
And
like,
everyone's
oh,
like,
hell!
absolutely
Oh,
not.
no, not over my dead body.
She's having too much fun enjoying that single life.
She's
Yeah.
keeping it warm for Sir Cole.
Well, that's over. That's done with. Like, finally, like, well, I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way.
But then Aemon, Cole actually is like agreeing with like Alicent. Finally, I guess he hasn't really been agreeing with much of anything she's been saying the last few episodes, but this time he actually like agrees with, you know, what she's saying, and Aemon is just like, you know what?
Go to Harrenhal.
Get your ass to Harrenhal. Like, I'm so tired of you over here banging my mom, being a terrible hand. Like,
And he's like, I don't have enough men. You kind of scorched a couple of them last time.
he's like, you better figure it out.
Well, technically it was Melee's, but
Yes.
still, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was just super funny how he just like sits on the table next to him
Yeah.
and just like looks at him, just like.
Did I
"Get your-"
stutter?
Yeah. You know, get your ass to Harrenhal right now. I'm so tired of you. Yeah. So after that, you know, that's kind of what they decide they're gonna do. Cole's gonna go make his way to Harrenhal. Tyland is going to try to get in touch with the Triarchy and try to persuade them to help destroy Corlys's barricade. And Alicent is just
She's gonna get fired.
yeah,
Because that's what happens.
Yeah, and Alicent's just being extremely ignored
Yeah, so the...
and overlooked, and
Oh,
inevitably
we forgot you're a woman.
Yeah.
Well, that and like the one thing I really enjoyed about the scene, like from the start, Asmund took
Aemon.
he took control. Like he got that letter, read it, and he's like, "No, we're fucking doing this, and I say so." And everyone's like
Yeah.
trying to like tell him this, that, or the other thing. He's like, "No, shut the fuck up, and you're gonna do as you're told." As simple as that. I am now ruling, and you gotta deal with it.
Yeah, so after like the council adjourns and everyone's leaving, Aemon tells his mom to stay behind.
Mother?
Pretty
Someone's in
much
trouble.
tells her that
You're fired.
she's not needed in council anymore, and that, you know, this will give her more time to focus on domestic priorities and affairs.
Why don't
And
you attend to the midwives?
yeah, you know what I mean? And pretty much tells her that she doesn't really need to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of like the biggest, like, turnaround, you know, for Alicent working so hard to get her son on the throne. And now she's just literally being fired and she's got no say anymore.
Were you gonna say something, babe? Were you gonna say something?
So like I think your time's up.
Yeah.
You ran your use. I don't see the use for you anymore.
Yeah. You don't really know anything about war, mother.
And Allison's just like, have we really been that mean to you that you just want to screw everybody around? And you could see it in his eyes, like, yeah.
Well, she
His
worded
eyes,
it like...
you mean his eye.
Yeah.
His eye, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she worded it like, haven't you gotten, like...
Enough payback.
enough payback for, like, your eye thing and all the teasing
The
you got as
bullying,
a
yeah.
kid? Like,
He's like,
haven't you
nope.
gotten enough? Like...
Hell no.
And essentially it's just like, no, you can totally
Nah,
see.
there's
You
still a
know?
little more there.
And she tries to like, she touches his face, and
Tryna-
she really tries to like connect
My
with him
baby
and
boy.
like talk to him, and you can tell it's just like too little, too
Yeah.
late.
Yes.
You know,
Falling on
Like,
deaf ears.
It's just not gonna work anymore. Like he is definitely fully succumbed to like
The darkness.
just the power like of being in charge. Like
Mad
it's just
King.
it's just he's drunk with power almost
Yeah.
a little bit. Now we go to Dragonstone, where Corliss has accepted the position of the hand, and
Finally.
Puts
finally
the pin on.
Yeah,
puts
it
the
took him
pin
long
on.
enough.
Super awesome. And then he is there first. He gets to the council room first for everyone else, and then everyone's walking in, and then Rhaenyra sees him and sees that he has the pin on, and kind of gives him like a little nod. And
She basically tells everybody like, so I have an idea. Just let me put this out there.
Hey, so I got this thought, and then we see them bring in Stefan Darklin, whose father was beheaded by Cole.
He was the guy we couldn't remember on our last episode, but we really like him. He was the one that helped Rhaenyra get into King's Landing to talk to Allison.
Yeah, we liked him.
Yeah.
He's not a bad dude.
He's
cool.
a good guy,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with him.
Super loyal.
He's not one of the people like talking back and questioning
he's
everything
loyal
that she
like
does.
crazy, yeah.
Like, so I guess he's kind of like the
For-
in charge of like her Kingsguard. I guess I think is who he's supposed to be.
I think the bald dude is
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but
maybe.
the one that rushed in when Eric and Eric were fighting.
but I think he's probably Stefan. I think he's probably like her primary like guard. That
Maybe
Like
yeah.
he's like assigned to her.
exactly, yeah.
Where the bald dude is like in charge
Of everybody else, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe.
No, I mean he's there to also protect her, but he'll oversee everything else.
Right.
So whereas Stefan is like that's her bodyguard.
Right.
Yeah, he's leader of the Queen's Guard.
Yeah.
So Stefan Darklin is leader of the Queen's Guard, and then the other guy is just like the bald guy is just the guy that is supposed to watch over her
There you go.
chambers
There you go.
and stuff, and maybe the guy that is like standing there.
Like
her
the surrounding.
personal guard. Yeah, I think you guys flipped it around. I think you guys just flipped.
Okay,
them.
no, Darklin is the Queen's Guard.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
the leader of
Okay.
the Queen's Guard. Yeah. And his dad was Sir
I
Gunther.
just remember the bald dude being super important.
Yeah. Well, he's the one that guards. Yeah, Lane was right. He's the one that guards her, and Sir Stefan is the one that oversees everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the son of the guy that Cole unfortunately killed, and he was spouting all this. You're gonna get yours pretty soon, pretty boy.
Oh, he
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, so she brings him in and pretty much tells him that, she's running out of options. She doesn't really have an army. She doesn't have anything going on.
And yep, empty
Yeah.
dragons with no riders.
Yeah,
Dragons with no riders.
Pretty much she doesn't really know what Damon's doing in the Riverlands
So-
because he's not really talking. She's
No.
just... At this point, I think she just feels like she's by herself.
Yeah, and so that's why she says that, like she's got to proceed like she is, like she doesn't have Damon, because if she can't wait on him, things are already happening and she needs to act quick.
Damn right.
Yep. So that's when she's like, I propose we find riders for our 3 riderless dragons, which is Vermithor, Sea Smoke, and Silverwing.
Yep.
And I guess apparently her and Jace had been going through the scrolls, tracing back lineages, and she's like, yeah, so Stefan, your great-grandmother's great-grandmother was a Targaryen princess, so
Maybe you
like
qualify.
you might be able to tame a dragon. Like
You wanna give it a try?
shot? Now you might die. You might die. I just want you to know you might die, and you can say no,
Yes.
but you can't really say
No,
But, like,
actually,
you
Stefan
can't.
jumped at it though.
no. He totally
Yeah.
did. I don't think. I think if he would have been like, no thanks, Rhaenyra would have been like, okay, we gotta
Yeah,
look
no,
for someone
she
else for
definitely-
sure. She wouldn't have been a
Yeah.
monster and made him.
But dude, like, he
but I
goes-
think it's just like, like serve it, like
Yes.
yeah.
like just being so
honored with it. Yeah.
The honor is so huge among like these knights that
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like I think he was just so compelled by his honor to say yes
And I mean,
that I
just
think
the-
he would have said yes no matter what.
Just the fact that there's a chance you can become a dragon rider,
That
you would
too.
live in infamy after that.
True, but also it's like what he said to her at the end of their conversation. He's like, "I took an oath to protect you and die for you, and that's gonna fucking happen no matter what."
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why we like Sir
Yes.
Stefan.
yeah,
It's the loyalty.
He's the Ned Stark of this, because that's how honorable Ned Stark was in GQ.
Was he really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware.
yeah.
Wow.
And then, of course, you know, we got like the other council members, every on the small council that are just like, no, bad idea. Don't think this is right. But since he agreed to do it, there's not really
Anything they can say.
anything
Yeah.
they can really do.
We get a new instigator after Sir Alfred Broom was sent away. This time it's Sir Bartimos Celtigar.
Yeah,
From the Claw Isle.
Isle. Yeah, so
I must protest, my queen.
I must protest. Yeah, that's all you've been doing is protesting everything, and then you protest, and then protesting about sending a dragon, and then look what happened. Now she doesn't have a dragon, then you're all mad at her because now she's lacking a dragon. Like she, like literally, Rhaenyra cannot win with her small council. Like
Particularly this guy.
Wait, is
all of them, like all
is this
of
the
them.
guy that she smacks?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
right across the face?
Well,
Yeah,
don't give it away.
Spoilers were already told.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get
but
to that. I just want to make sure we're,
That
we're
is-
talking about that dude.
That is
Yeah.
that dude. And
We'll go over a reason why he got
Yeah.
bitch slapped.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
then-
a long time coming.
And then we head back to Harrenhal.
For the 57th episode of Harrenhal.
Tripping balls.
The Trip and Ball series
He's
featuring
strong with
Damon.
this one.
Damon.
Yeah. So now we get a flashback of not like a. Yeah.
Who knows?
Is it? We don't know. All we know is Caraxes is fucking over it. He's tired.
Yes.
He's over this cold shit. He's ready to go back to his warm volcano island with his dragon girlfriend.
Yeah,
and
Possibly fuck shit up.
Either way,
He's like, I was
anything.
promised war, and I want war.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of staring at this weird, creepy tree out here.
yeah, we see him like talking to King Viserys and basically reliving, I'm guessing, what is probably the worst day of his life.
No, it was like it was
Yeah.
like one of his biggest mistakes is because it was something I forgot.
Oh, what
exact-
he said, the
Yeah.
comment he made.
The comment he
said,
made.
It
And
was
that's
Air for a
about,
day.
It was about the
The
unborn
baby.
child.
Yeah.
Yes.
and then that cost his banishment.
Basically.
Yeah, so like the whole time Damon's in Harrenhal, he's just reliving all of his past mistakes.
Okay. Yeah, you see that thing, but it's just funny because he's in the room with Viserys and he's like, okay, I don't want to hear this anymore. He's trying to get out. He's like, let me out, please, let me out.
Yeah.
He can't, and then Simon finally opens the door, and then freaking Damon just was like, I know you're behind this.
So yeah, Lord Strong.
Yes.
Puts a knife to
Who's
his
just
throat.
like, oh wait, let me open this door, and he like pretty much almost catches Damon because he like falls to the door. When
Oh,
he
hey, are you
opens it.
okay?
He's like, dude, what's up? Like, you know, like, are you alright?
What's up, buddy?
And then Damon just pulls on like shank out on him, and is just like, is this you? You're doing this to me.
That's gotta be the itty bittiest knife I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah, we don't know. That's what he uses to cut his apples. Who fucking knows? I don't know. You know, he's not doing it for. I
Yeah.
don't know. You know.
Either way, the whole scene is just funny because you could like he's unhinged and
Yes.
he's telling him it's like, is it you or is it your clubfoot Laris?
Yes.
Or
That's
is it the
you,
High
yeah.
Towers or is it Rhaenyra herself? And Sir Strong's like, no, dude, I ain't do nothing. What are we talking about? And he finally kind of like gets his composure, and as he's leaving, stop watching me.
Yes.
And Sir Strong is like,
you.
Sir Strong's like, shh, it's okay, it's okay.
It's okay. We all go a little mad here, you know,
And-
like yeah,
And
we've all been here. We've all gone through this.
we know what you're going through. It'll pass.
Yeah, you just gotta work it
Yeah.
out.
Drink some more goof juice.
Yeah, pretty much. Just keep drinking the Alice brew, and
And freaking Damon just bolts out of there. It's like Carax is like, "Oh, we're finally at him, man. We're fucking leaving now. Come on, bro, let's go."
Yes.
And as he's leaving, who's waiting for him?
Alice, and she's like, "Oh, you're not even gonna say bye to me?" And he was like, there's something wrong with me.
You guys poisoned me from the day one, the moment I showed up, even though you didn't know I was coming.
Right? And she's like, she's like, is it this, or maybe it's like black haunting the halls of Heron? And he's just like, shut up with that. Like, he just throws his bag. He's just like so mad and so frustrated. And she's just like, super cool and not getting upset at all. And then he like just starts pouting and sits down, and he's just like, I need your counsel. And he's like, I didn't think you would ever ask me for help. And he's like, counsel. Like,
I didn't say help.
Yeah.
Did you hear me say help? I didn't say help.
Maybe I'll
said
help
no,
if you say
not help.
pretty, please.
Basically.
She pretty much explains that, like,
The reason you weren't made heir is because you're a little crazy.
yeah. And she's like, haven't you ever noticed that the people that don't want the crown are the ones that do a better job, get it and then do a better job at it, versus the ones that want it or do the worst job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is something I really liked
Correlation.
because it was kind of like a throwback to the books. Because in the books, the Iron Throne is this big behemoth thing that's very imposing. It's not like, because in the show it's pretty small, right? And it's like comfortable to sit on, but in the books it's not, and the swords are still sharp, and it's like to remind each of the person that takes that throne of the burden that it represents.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's a burden,
and the kings and stuff, they'll like cut themselves on the swords and stuff accidentally. Super uncomfortable to sit on it at all times. So like a lot of them don't try to stay off it as much as possible.
Yeah.
So
No, it's just one of those things that they say that is there's a legend that it will kill a weak king.
yeah.
And one has to be careful when sitting on it, because as a true king, one needs to be careful when leading. And the way Alice was telling him that is basically saying, like, dude, like, you always strive to be the king, but do you really think you would do a good job at it? Whereas you see your brother, who didn't want the title, did a pretty damn good job at it. And even if you look at Aegon, he was trying to
be a good
generally
king.
trying to be a good king.
Whereas-
It was the people around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
And
But
then you can see it with Aemon.
yeah, Aemon, yeah, the one who wants power. Yeah.
Yes.
I like this scene because this is actually one of my favorite scenes of the entire time. Caraxes is like, dude, let's go. Stop listening her. She's crazy, bro. She's gonna give you more goof juice. Let me eat her.
Yeah, he's just making his dragon noises the whole time.
Bro, I wanna go.
I'm just right here. 5
Yeah.
feet. That's it.
Yeah.
We're almost
Daddy here. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's always like reactions to certain things, either like Damon's reaction to something or like something important like Alice says. Like, that's always when he makes a noise. So it's like kind of like whatever said, and then you hear the dragon making a noise or the dragon's making a sound. It's like really I don't know, I just connected. I was like, oh, he only really is making sounds when they're really
Yes.
talking about important stuff, like
yes.
He's like, I wanna go.
yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like he could be wanting to go, but then at the same time, like, maybe he's also like agreeing with like some stuff that Alice is
That's true. You
telling
could have been
us.
like, bro, listen to her.
Damon, you know?
She has a point.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe
You do be a little
maybe the
crazy
dragon's
sometimes.
like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, like maybe we should just listen to what she's saying a little bit. And then that's when she
Just a little.
explains, how the Rivermen are and
Yes.
they've been fighting with each other forever, and it's Lord
Yeah.
Grover
Grover.
Tully that is like pretty much keeps them in line, and they'll do everything that he says. And she pretty much tells him like, just hang out for 3 days, all right? Just don't do anything, just chill. In 3 days' time, like, something will change. And then she kind of just walks off like
I like
she
it.
always does.
But
like,
before she
Yeah,
does,
but
the
then
freaking
boom.
barn owl just appears out of
oh
nowhere.
yeah, the owl comes in, which
Yeah.
is pretty
Well,
interesting.
it flew like
Yes.
past him with like But my question is, where the fuck did that mouse come from that she fed it to? I did not see it in its talons or anything.
She had it, she had it.
Probably in her
and
back pocket.
Yeah, she might have had
Okay.
it in her pocket.
Because I was like looking, like I rewinded it and I trying to look for that little fucking thing. I'm like, it wasn't in her hand.
She's a witch.
Yeah, she just makes it pull
Oh,
in air.
She's gonna send it in an errand, so she's gotta feed it. You know, give it incentive.
Those are her eyes
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah, so then we go to the scene at Driftmark.
The dragon dock.
Was it did they do the dragon first, or did they do
Yeah.
the
They do the
Driftmark
dragon
It was
scene
the
dock
dragon dock
first.
first.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so then I guess now we have all the dragon keepers are trying to summon
Sea smoke.
Sea Smoke, a dragon. So they're singing the lullaby
Mm-hmm.
that Damon was singing to Vermithor in the last episode of the first season. the
Yeah, and I
finale.
think Aemon sang that to Vagar as well,
Yeah,
right?
Damon sang it to. No, Aemon didn't sing it.
He didn't sing it to Vagar when he was trying to claim her?
No,
Oh, I
he was
could've
just
sworn he
he
did.
was just talking to her. in
Oh, and Valerian,
Valerian,
okay.
yeah, giving a lot of the same commands that Sir Stefan Darkland will be saying to Sea Smoke. But yeah, so they're singing this lullaby to summon Sea Smoke, and Rhaenyra and
One of her, like, helpers.
Jace
Yeah.
are like standing
Jace.
back watching.
Her son too.
And it looks promising. It looks like...
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. You know, they're telling him not to show fear. You know, they're telling him the words to say, and it looks like Sea Smoke's about to like let him hop.
Yeah.
you know,
he
get on the-
basically edges him. He's like, tell him, like, hey, hop on.
Yeah,
And then he gets close and like, psych.
yeah.
Which
Like,
I knew was
yeah.
gonna happen, except for I wasn't expecting him to get roasted. I was expecting
Yes.
him to get chomped.
Gotcha,
bitch.
That's what I wanted to see also too. I just wanted to see the dragon just chomp.
It's just one of those scenes where you're like, oh, he's doing it. He's
Right.
nope.
But I felt so bad for Stefan because he was like, "Oh my god, I did it!" And then,
Right.
bam.
But I think that's
That was
what
it. That's what fucked it up. He spoke that common tongue, and the dragon was like, "Ugh!" And he was like,
That's not high Valerian. What the what?
he spoke gutter speak at me. Ugh, you know, like
I'm not Sunfire.
dirty common,
I don't speak English.
the dirty common tongue. You know, like he
And
didn't speak the god.
unfortunately,
God,
him
so-
and Stefan and an unnamed dragon keeper, unfortunately, get smoked. And
dragon keeper said fuck this and slit his throat. He's like, I'm
Yes.
not dying from
Yeah,
being
well, all
burned.
the dragon keepers have a dragon glass blade on them.
Yeah.
So that way that they
If
can,
there's any incident,
unfortunately,
if they get lit on fire or whatever, they can take their own life, so they don't have to like suffer.
Suffer, yeah.
So
Oh,
I did a
yeah.
deep dive in the dragon's firepower. Their firepower is the equivalent of getting hit with the engine of a rocket. So the heat is so bad that it'll literally get to underneath your skin to your bone within seconds of you getting hit with it.
well, that
That's
explains
just
the
how
throat
bad their
slitting.
fire is. And you can see the dragon helper, his skin immediately
Yes.
crispified. He was turning into dust.
Well,
Dude, if-
literally,
He
it's
was
like.
melting,
Well,
yeah.
didn't you say like that they produce that thing where kind of like gasoline?
Basically,
Yeah, I
it's
can.
napalm, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, they produce their own like gas.
Yeah,
it's
jet
crazy.
fuel,
Yeah.
rocket fuel. You know, so
Which is a little. I mean, I know they do it for dramatic effect, the screaming, but if it's that hot, you're not gonna scream because all the oxygen is gone.
Yeah, they do it for effect. Yeah, you like basically you can't breathe.
but
once
it's just
like
that it would be weird if there was no screaming because like. Well, they just got roasted. It'd be like anticlimactic kind of.
No, of course, yeah.
did it.
Right.
It's like blasters in space.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
When there's no sound in space.
exactly. Now,
Poor Stefan, he's
I
off
know.
the table. All right.
this is why you don't get. This is why you don't get close or comfortable
don't
with
get
any
attached
characters.
to
You don't get attached to anybody.
And any George R. Martin, anything. Just don't
Yeah.
get attached to anyone.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
now
this isn't Lord of the Rings, all right?
No,
this is
not
ultra
everybody
violent.
lives happily ever after like Lord of the Rings. okay?
Exactly.
Everybody just dies.
There's
and
no
it's
Register
messed
Extra
up.
Stone in this show or this series.
There's no Dragon Balls.
There's no res.
Exactly. And then we make it to Driftmark,
Yes.
where Corliss is talking to Alan.
And it's pretty much telling Alan he's going to be like his first mate, and Alan's like, do I have to? And he's like, yeah, what do you mean? What the?
It's like
Everyone
alright.
fucking loves you.
Yes.
Like, what do you? They would love to listen to you. They'll listen to anything you say. Like, you would make a
It's
great
like,
first
are
mate.
you asking? Are you commanding?
Yeah,
But-
right?
And he basically says, "Is like, I will see you tomorrow, ready to work." And he goes, "As you command."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but I like that scene because like he's like honoring his wife after she passed, and he's like,
Rainies.
yeah, he's like, you know what, that guy's my boy. I'm gonna teach him how to be a good, proper sailor and a leader.
Yeah, but he's doing it in like the laziest way too. It's like,
Yes.
Sail, I can't acknowledge you, but here's a promotion.
But although, I mean, the reasoning behind the promotion is sound. Like he did save his life. The crew respects the shit out
He
of
definitely
him.
did earn that promotion, but even Alan doesn't think that. And we'll get to that in another scene. So from there we go to back to King's Landing.
Which it is hinted at because you see his brother working in the background after the conversation.
He's kind of eavesdropping a little bit.
Yeah, and his brother like angrily threw down the ropes that he was working with.
Oh yeah, most
After
likely
that.
because he was probably gunning for that position. But
No.
Well, they explain it later.
Yeah,
Well,
explain
they
it
explain
Let's
it a
get
little
there.
bit.
Well, let's get there.
But for
Now
now,
we're
we're
at
in
the
King's
tavern.
Landing in a
Yeah.
tavern where Ulf is Ulf, right?
Oh,
Yeah, the supposed long lost Valerian
bastard brother.
Targaryen.
Bastard brother of Viserys and Daemon, and bastard uncle to Rhaenyra
Yeah.
and Aegon and Aemond. Supposedly, which, if you know the history, that is completely not
Bullshit.
it. Yeah, but you know, there are other Targaryens. I just don't believe that it was
From that.
that particular
Yes.
Targaryen because he was very much in love with his wife and he didn't really have eyes for anyone else but
No.
her.
Oh yeah, Viserys would not cheat.
No.
No, not
no.
Viserys. Viserys's father, Balon.
Oh wow, so he was also
Balon,
committed.
and was married to his sister Alyssa, and they were like inseparable. Even
Oh,
as
okay.
children, they were like they were like together. So their parents made sure
Makes
that
sense to
they
get
married.
married.
Yeah. So
The
Rhaenys
incest is right with these two.
But Rhaenys's father, he married a Baratheon, and you know they had one kid, just Rhaenys, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so maybe Ulf is actually his bastard son. I mean, they never explain who.
Let's put him in front of a dragon and see what happens.
They never explain who Ulf is related to. We
Dragons
never
will
get
tell
there.
you if they have it.
But I would believe he would be Rhaenys' bastard brother versus Viserys and Daemon's bastard brother, just based off of the parents and their obsession with their.
We'll call Maury on
Yeah.
that a little bit.
So, you know, he's there. He's pissed because, you know, like everyone else, they're just living off of fish because that's all they can get.
Yeah.
So everyone's just kind of stuck eating fish and fish
Soupy,
stew,
nasty.
soupy fish water.
And
Do they
very diluted.
Do they not know how to cook fish or something?
No, it's
No.
just what they're working with.
Yes.
They're just taking
okay.
every bit of scrap that they
Oh,
can.
okay. So it's just lush at this
You
point.
make
Yeah.
a
Pretty
stew goes way
Oh yeah.
farther than like
Yeah.
cooking everyone individual
You add
pieces,
bones
you
and
know?
whatnot, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of taverns would
Yeesh.
serve stew and
Fish
stuff that
stew.
would be
Yes.
well before when they had actual food. Maybe it would be beef or pork or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
But
it'd be
stew
like
is
a-
a huge thing that taverns go to London, y'all. They
Yes.
used to
Oh,
make
yeah,
stew
even
at
now,
the
yeah.
pubs, right?
Yeah, a
so
lot of stew.
is good because you can make big
You-
quantities of
You
it.
want
Yes,
some
you
stew
can.
with your pint?
Because you can just put water in that.
Yeah, just keep watering the bitch
Yeah.
down. Just
It's
keep
just
adding
like
water in
I'm telling
there.
you, it's like the what was it, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where they had the cabbage soup, and she just has to keep putting water. 'cause they
Oh
didn't have-
yeah.
remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's the times.
That's
Except for there
exactly-
is no cabbage here because they're using it all
Yeah.
for Aegon. So there's not only a cabbage
Yeah.
shortage too, because which means all the cabbage he can get. Anyways.
Too soon.
I know, I had to. It was just set up. It was set up that I
was
had
good,
to
that
take
was
the
good.
shot.
Yeah.
So we see, the girl from the first season who had the abortion.
Yeah.
juice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why can't I remember her name? It's
I don't
it
remember
starts
her
with
name
an
either.
A, I think.
Amanda.
It
Just say
does, but I
Amanda.
can't.
I can't remember. So, she's around, she's serving, she's working the bar, she's waitressing, and the brothel
Lady.
maid who's like in charge of
madam.
the madam, yes,
Amen's mama.
is there,
Second
and
mom.
she starts striking up a conversation about how, oh yeah, her girls were just at the castle and they were partying it up and they were eating all this food. They just had like a whole like setup.
Rack of lamb.
Rack of lamb, they got this,
Julian
they got this,
style.
all this food, and she's clearly like directing this right at Ulf, because Ulf is just like
The
the
best
next table
instigator.
over, just like looking, like totally just starting to engage into
Yes.
listening to everything they're saying, and she's like, yeah, and they're about to have another party tonight with even more food, so they're gonna do it again, and
Wow.
which is super funny because she knows, like, obviously Aemond is not summoning women.
No, he's
Like
not.
it's just all completely made up, but like all the people in the tavern are now just kind of paying attention to what she's saying and listening, which is
She turned on her baby boy.
yeah, which is the plan.
Well, he
Yeah.
did it first.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. When
Do you
he
remember
gave her
that?
the cold shoulder, it's like,
Exactly.
take her. She's just a hooker. I don't care.
Exactly, and I have a feeling like he hasn't been back to see her.
No,
since then,
I
don't think he
obviously.
has, yeah.
So
Since
then,
he became
yeah,
king.
since he took that dagger,
I don't need anybody to
He-
hold me anymore.
Yeah.
I hold myself.
I have
power.
I have my dagger to hold me.
In this throne. Yeah. So then, then Ulf makes the comment that, like when Viserys was in charge, like
He loved his wine.
He loved his wine and
And
his
he liked to
tourneys
party,
and his
yeah.
parties, but he made sure that the small folk had theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't go hungry.
If it's the people saying that,
Yeah. And she's like, well, he's gone. He's dead. And his heir has been denied her rightful place on the throne. And it's
He's so
just
good, dude.
so good. And
Such
this
a
is
silver
and this
tongue.
is
Yeah.
all and this is all Masaria's
Yes.
work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because this
Oh,
is exactly
hell yeah.
what she planned. She's like, I know all the whores. They're all on my side. They all work for me. If you don't know, remember, she was
The
we were
OG.
first,
Yeah.
The
we
OG
were
hooker.
introduced to her as a whore. So
The
she
OG
knows
hooker.
all of the whores, and they, all of the girls at the brothels. She knows them all, and they all listen
loyal
to
to
her.
her.
Are
Obviously.
extremely
Especially
loyal to
the
her.
girl in the tavern, because remember, she got screwed out of working at that because of Aegon.
Which all of this is all connected
Telling
to
you,
stuff that
all the
happens
little-
later.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, Matt. So just keep that because.
Keep it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in my brain, there might be a scenario where maybe that drink didn't work.
Interesting. Either
You
way,
see the little fuck ups start to stack up now?
But that's for later. That's book stuff I'm getting to. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
So,
back to dragons.
yeah, so that's all going. Now everyone's talking. All the small peak, now they're all talking, right? So it's exactly what wanted to happen has happened. And
So
then,
in Discord left and right.
And yeah, so later we see Sir Bartimos, which is the guy of what's his name? The
Crab Isle, right?
Crab Isle
Or Crab Claw Isle.
Yes, that guy.
He has crabs.
Well, that's like their house. Their house like banners. That's like a bunch of like red crabs
Crabs.
on a white background.
Crab people.
So yeah, they're crab people, I
Crustacean.
guess. So he's following Rhaenyra, just being like, "Look, I said this was a bad idea.
I told you.
We just lost him.
I
Like,
told
what
you."
are we gonna do now? It's like, Sea Smoke is fled. Like he just took off. Now we're short a dragon. Like, what are we gonna do? Like I told you this was a horrible idea." And she just turns around and
That's
slaps
the
that
shit out of
fool.
Like the taste
Much
out his mouth.
Deserved, just long overdue. And then she says
And
like
then
the best
the
line.
one-liner.
Yeah, the best line. It's like, I fear I have let you guys forget.
It is
to,
my
like,
fault. I
yeah.
think you have forgotten to fear me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Which is
Such
such
a-
a good line.
Arnold would be proud of that one-liner.
Yeah, and then he like, and then she walks away, and then if you notice, like, he looks back at like the servants that were in the background, and then they scatter. So it's like it was totally like the tell everyone what just happened. Look, go, and so that was a great scene.
Yeah.
And
That was a
very-
fantastic scene. I think I heard like people from 2 blocks over just clapping. Like,
cheers.
you go, girl.
Yeah. So then we see
Miss Sarah.
Missaria meets Rhaenyra in her little scroll room. I don't know what else to call it. The scroll room. It's just full of old scrolls
Yeah,
and stuff.
and then she picks up the sword, and I like when she's like looking at the table of swords. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a badass sword.
Yeah,
They're
she's got
pretty
a
cool swords.
nice little like array of different swords to choose from, and she picks them up, and
The one she picks up, though, I don't know. I just fell in love with it.
No, that's a nice sword. Yeah, that's a very nice sword.
Like the way the hilt looks, the way the blade tapers, and everything.
Exactly, yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
that will kill.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
Good choice, my lady. Your grace, whatever. So then Rhaenyra's messing around with her sword, and then Missaria comes in and tells them like, like it was a good attempt. It was a solid attempt. Like we lost it, but it's not to be like sad
Don't feel
about
too
it.
bad about it.
Don't feel defeated over this. Like it was definitely worth the attempt. And then
Ray, she disagrees. Is like, well, yeah, but it cost me one of my best men and an innocent bystander, and like Miss Sarah is just kind of trying to keep her from like doubting herself too much, and she tells her like, check other relatives. There might be more people, and Ray reluctantly is like, yeah, I guess, and Miss Sarah pretty much tells her like, tell you what, the discord that we sowed in King's Landing is actually working. Yeah, and the people are looking for someone to blame. Yeah.
but then she wonders if it's going to be enough to make them like sway the people
Oh,
and like
Oh, it is.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but she worries that Amen's is probably just gonna like shut it down immediately.
But
hurt the people in there.
Yeah.
Miss Sarah, excuse me, points out, she's like, well, here's the thing, he just can't kill people in his own kingdom because
Exactly.
like she's
Be stupid.
Yeah, she's pretty much saying like that, like if they take action, that this is how they're gonna look.
Yeah.
and it's just gonna favor you.
Exactly.
And
And her quote at the end is like, "Wage war abroad when you must also keep peace at home is very
it's really
difficult."
hard. Yeah, that's what it was.
yeah. So that was like a really important part, and then
Yeah, you just
it
gotta
is-
give Miss Sarah props.
Yeah,
man,
it's
like-
just a lot of like Mysteria's really like showing
She-
up and being
she-
honestly the best counsel that Rhaenyra has at the
honestly,
moment.
I feel like she should have made her hand. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
we'll see
yeah.
down the line, but I feel like she would have been a better hand.
She would have,
Yes.
but
She kind of already is,
Yeah,
but then again, she's
but-
a woman, so I don't think
but-
anybody
No,
would listen.
but
It's-
yeah,
Cor-
but
Corliss-
also Corliss has
Yes.
political pull.
Yes.
Ah,
That's
okay.
why.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I get it.
but yeah, the Master
Yes.
Whispers would be a better title for her.
That's
There
what I was
you
gonna
go.
say that too.
Yeah.
She's the
What Clubfoot is
Her good
to,
Laris, yeah.
Yeah,
Her
she-
Laris.
Yes.
Yeah.
she's the like I said, she's the
She's the people's champ,
the
basically.
dude from Game of Thrones.
You
The
forget
bald
that
His
name.
name is like Viserion.
Yeah,
You
but
keep forgetting his name.
He's
even
like
though
one of my
bring him up-
favorite characters,
But how
too.
can he be your favorite if you keep forgetting his name?
I hope she says a line very similar to what he said. Like when Daenerys is taking over, he's like, "Look, if I've always been there for my king, but the second they turn on the people, I will make moves to have you assassinated."
They
Nice.
they are the same. Like they wrote them the same, just like Laris and Littlefoot are written the same. Like they're
Ironically.
like they did it on purpose. Obviously.
Ironically.
Yeah, and so the only reason Rhaenyra hasn't like made her part of like her small council is because her father didn't found that there wasn't a need for a Master of Whispers. So she's
No.
kind of keeping that
Yeah, Viserys
same
never wanted
tradition
one.
going that her father did, which is why she's going to her outside of the council.
Yeah, but
you know, but
she's still making herself
essentially
crazy useful.
she is her master
But
of
there's
whispers. Just
there's
unofficially.
But there was a difference when her father ruled. There was peace, so there was no need for spies.
That's true.
Yes, but you know, Rhaenyra has been trying to keep
Tradition alive.
this, you know, this tradition of how
Her dad ruled.
ruling has been going for 80 years,
Yeah.
and she's trying to keep going.
Well, yeah. Why
with
break it when it works? You know. Like,
Yeah.
True, but also I would just say use the tools you have to win.
Well, she
and
is.
then
Well,
once you win,
I think that slap heard around the world is that right there
There's Rhaenyra.
happening. That change, that
There's Rhae the
click
Cruel.
where she needs to realize like she's got to do stuff a little bit differently,
Yeah.
and she's got to like get this council like listening to her and
Yeah.
taking her seriously.
Because what's gonna happen when Corlys is not there? You know, like when she's gotta be there, and Corlys is off doing I don't know other stuff. You know, for her.
Well, he did mention he's going
Yeah.
going on a sailing trip. He needed a
Yeah.
like a first mate, so
Yeah.
he's not going to
So-
be at the table.
That's true. Yeah.
Soon he's not going to be there, right? Like,
Yeah.
so
And,
yeah.
and it goes back to the whole thing of that she was saying she's got to stand on her own 2 feet without the help of Damon or, you know, because it's going to come a time where she's just there herself. And who's she going to...
Exactly.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Not
She needs to be her own
Damon.
strength.
God damn it. That's a good one. And then we make our way back to King's Landing. It's like back and forth, back to
Oh
King's
yeah,
Landing.
every scene it switches. So now we're back at King's Landing in Aegon's room.
No. We're at we're in like kind of like the little market where Hugh's wife is like.
Right.
That's right.
Like you see a line of people just like waiting for literally scraps of I couldn't even see what it was. Like I was just wrapping something in some
Yes.
cloth and he was giving
But
them
he was giving them like literally like very
pieces.
like trying to stretch it as
Tiny
far as he
pieces of
could.
bread.
Like I was like,
yeah,
oh,
Who
and
knows?
he runs out before Hugh's wife can get anything, and she's like, "Do you have any?"
I'll take
scraps?"
anything at all.
But just as that happens, you see a cart hauling some freaking goats or sheep,
Some sheep.
and
Yeah, sheep.
the great instigator that he is, like, "Oh, so I see you have meat for your dragons, but not for your people.
Yeah.
We want meat."
yeah.
I was expecting them to start chanting, "We want me."
Me too.
I don't know why, but that scene just reminded me of the movie Twister when you see what's his name, baby? There's a scene where I forget his
it's
name.
Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty. He goes
Dusty
like,
and-
"We want
yeah.
food, food,
Yeah.
food." and now we make it to we make it back to the council room where Jasper, the guy you don't like, Lane,
He's a jerk.
is telling Aemon that, hey,
His
like,
face is
so
stupid.
the people are kind of getting restless because there's no food. Apparently, some people kind of bought everything and are hoarding them for themselves.
No, Laris says that. Laris is telling him all of this.
No,
yeah.
actually, it is Jasper. Laris then chimes in with because Aemon responds with like, so, like seriously, dude. And then Laris goes like, dude, this could, hurt us because if the people look to us for security, and that's the burden of authority. And Laris also points out that, we kind of owe them to the people. That's our duty to them. Yeah, but Jasper was the ones like, dude, the people are kind of pissed because there's no food. But Laris is like what Aemon said. So Laris is like, this could hurt us if we don't do something about it.
Yeah, and then he was like, well, why aren't they blaming Rhaenyra? Because she's the one that put up the blockade.
And it's like, well, it's your job to deal with it.
Yeah, you're in
They
charge.
live in your kingdom.
They look to you. Even if you're not the
Hello.
king, you're in charge right now.
Which just goes to show they just let a 16, 17-year-old take charge. This fool's no idea what he's
His
doing.
response though,
He
like,
has
so
no idea what he's doing.
I'm
Well,
like,
what Asmund wants is just to go out and fight.
yeah, Aemon.
And Aemon, that's
Yeah, but I mean,
No,
either way,
This name I just made up, I don't even know where it's
Laris,
from.
Laris,
like it's
when I look at it, when I read it, for some reason my ADH brain wants to read it as Asmund.
yeah.
It makes more sense.
Either
no, no, man. You
Fuck
just want
fantasy
an
words.
you just want an excuse to call him. Yes,
There's that too.
you want to call
He
him
is an
Asmund, yeah,
ass.
welcome.
His new name is Ass Man. Okay.
but from there, Laris is like, hey, so I see you haven't appointed a hand, and
Trying to weasel.
Cole is your brother's hand, and maybe I could be your hand. And
Trying to
then
weasel his fucking way in again.
the way Eamon responds is so cool. It's like, yeah, I'll leave you to that. He goes like, sweet, thank you for the honor. So no, that's not what I said.
He calls him a goat. And they're like, no, you goat.
Go find me the guy I want, which is Otto Hightower, you numbnuts.
Isn't he making fun of his club foot as well?
Basically, dude, he like lays into him in that brief
he
moment.
does.
It's like,
So
it's like, who do you think I am? I'm not gonna fall for your dumb crap, dude. Go find me Otto Octavius. I don't know,
like spitting over here. Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Otto Octavius.
See, you're bad with names too.
That's not the other one.
No, but it's like, no, I met my grandpa.
Yeah.
But then
my
also in this scene is when Maester
Orwell
comes in, is like announces that Aegon's awake. Oh, he's like awake, he's responding, and you know, he's still in a fragile state, but he might recover. He might make it through this. And then, you know, that's when
But
he's so happy, and then it's like,
Aemon's just like,
cool.
all right,
Yeah.
great.
it's like, oh, this guy's gonna talk.
What happy news.
And then we go to Aegon's room where he's like, he's
Don't
like
tell mom.
in pain.
Pretty much.
He's in pain from like all the cabbages they're ripping off of him.
Yeah, I'll never look at cabbage the same.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
might not
like
eat for a
cabbage.
while. I might not eat it for a while after seeing that.
My Irishness is just like, no, not the cabbage.
At least it wasn't potatoes.
It reminded me of
man.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. My cabbage.
Cabbage, yeah. All their cabbages would have been seized for the Fire Lord.
Yeah. And then freaking
Stupid
Aemon
birds.
walks in and is like, hey, so can I have a word with my brother real quick?
Alone?
Get out.
No, but I feel so bad for Aegon. Did you see the
Dude.
way he looked at him though? Like the
in his
fear.
eyes, and he's like grabbing the sheets like,
He's like, I can't run away.
He's like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember shit. I can't remember
I will tell
anything.
mom, I
I
promise.
don't remember anything. And he was just like, and then
Yeah.
Aemon's just like,
he's like, what did you say?
you,
Huh? What
you
happened?
attacked Maelys. That was pretty foolish.
Like,
and at the same
isn't
time,
that what happened?
yeah, and then he has like the ball that they used,
To signify their seat.
yeah, in the small council.
I'm
he has
guessing that was Aegon's, right?
That was
Yeah.
the king's
He's
one,
like,
yeah.
here's your ball back.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm actually in
Presses
charge.
it into his wound.
Into the
Yeah.
skin, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Poor
he's just
Aegon.
like, I don't remember anything.
I
you
know nothing.
I was stupid, please, you know. And then he just like, and then Orwell walks in and is just like,
Oh, hey, Orwell, I was just leaving.
I was
This
just
is
giving my
awkward.
brother a kiss on the forehead because I love him so much and I want him to recover.
By the way, good job at your job at work at fixing him. Good job.
Yeah, good job.
And he's like, oh, I should just say this to play it off. Make sure he's comfortable for his long recovery.
Yeah, for his super long, extremely long recovery.
That scene was just like messed up and funny all at once.
It was really messed
I gotta give the actor who plays Aegon props. He did a great job, just like the fear,
Yeah.
showing the fear in his eyes and his body movement. Because
Yeah.
he's like grabbing on the sheets, like I didn't see anything. I don't know nothing. Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say.
Exactly.
Cool, dog. We cool.
Do you think he's gonna go up to his brother after he's healed and stuff and point at him and say, "Hey, we're twinsies"?
Twizzies. Hey, you guys.
But
We match.
I mean, that guy in general is a good actor because even before he's burned and damaged and stuff, like when he was just playing in a lost child, like just
No, he
partying
did
and
good,
stuff,
yeah.
he did that well. And when he like all the roles, he just like all the parts.
No, yeah, he did a good
nailed,
job.
you know?
Yeah.
He does.
I mean, a
very
lot.
good job.
I think everyone they casted is pretty fucking good at their acting job.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Pretty on point. Yeah.
I think they cast everybody really good.
Yeah, and then we go back to the Vale.
We're at the Vale, and Rhaena is complaining about
To
her
little
woes and her
6-year-old.
sorrows to a 6-year-old Joffrey who just wants his mom.
It's like, where's mom? I don't know, sweetie. You and I are cursed to walk this shire alone and destitute.
We're all we have.
We're abandoned children, you and I.
He's like, What
Two
the
of a
fuck
kind.
are you talking
I don't
about?
even know what we're
Like,
talking about. You're using big words.
Yeah, but
Can
as
we
they're,
get some snacks?
Right?
and speaking of snacks, they like walk through the valley and they see like scorched earth with like carcasses all over the place,
Bunch of burnt sheep.
which immediately my first thought was like, oh, sea smoke was there, which I was incorrect because it turns out there's another dragon.
Yes.
In the
wild.
wild.
There's another
Yeah.
wild dragon. Yeah, so then Lady Jane comes in.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
before,
forgot to
yeah,
mention
and
that.
then
She did.
before she comes in, like,
like,
we
you
get to
look-
see a tiny baby dragon.
Yeah, that
baby,
dude-
Yeah, they're so cute.
baby Stormcloud. That was Aegon the Third.
Baby
That's
Aegon.
That's his little hatchling
Mm-hmm.
dragon, and then Viserys. The second Viserys, his egg, he still has an egg. His hasn't hatched yet.
Yeah.
Aegon the 16th. Like, so many fucking Aegons.
Technically, he's only the third one so far. He's only the third one.
Yeah.
But Jon Snow's the seventh one. So there's, yeah, there's quite a few Aegons.
Yeah.
It's really important you name your son after the conqueror.
Right.
But yeah, so then she's informing Rhaena that Prince Regiaoin Pentos has accepted
Them to stay.
accepted to house little baby Aegon and little baby Viserys.
And Joffrey.
And no, not Joffrey.
Oh, really?
Joffrey is staying with Lady at the Vale because he's got the bigger dragon.
Oh, okay.
Bigger dragon, as it's
Yes.
like the size of a dog.
So
It's like a dog. It's like an 80 90 pound dragon. So I mean,
It can
it's
still fuck shit up, though.
I mean, it can burn some shit. You know,
Yeah.
it can. Can it destroy an entire fleet or Vagar? No. So,
If it
but-
burns the enemy one at a time, then
yeah.
yes.
But that's part of the terms. Like Joffrey's dragon is part of the terms. So, little Viserys and little Aegon are eventually going to be shipped off to Pentos. And Rhaena's supposed to go with them.
yes.
But she brings up the whole
Why didn't you tell me about the
yeah.
dragon?
you
lady?
lied. There was about there not being a dragon. Is pretty much what she
Yeah,
said.
she
You
said that.
misled me. Is the term? And she was like, "I misled you about what?"
So,
She's like,
you didn't tell me there's one in the Vale.
"There's a dragon here, bitch." You
He's
didn't
like,
tell
oh,
me
but
what a
it's
dragon-
wild.
You think I wasn't gonna find it?
Yeah.
Basically.
My spidey sense,
My
my dragon sense wasn't gonna go off, and I wasn't gonna know. You know, like. So then Jane's like, oh yeah, you know, it kind of appeared right when the war started, shortly after the war started, searching for food. It's formidable, big, and extremely wild. Alas.
And he likes sheep.
Yeah, alas. And then, of course, Rhaenyra's like, alas. Which, oh, sucks, you know. But you know in her brain, she's like, I'm going to go find this fucking dragon.
yeah.
I'm gonna tame this.
I'm going to
motherfucker.
find this
Yeah.
fucking dragon, you know,
This
in
is
her
gonna
brain.
be
Like
my
that
sheep
is-
stealer.
Yeah. That
Like-
Targaryen stubbornness in her,
Oh, yeah.
and the lack of a dragon, she's just like, I'm about to get this dragon. So yeah. So then after that, we go back to Driftmark, and Alan is shaving his silver hair away because, you know, he's just been trying to hide that he is the bastard of Corlys.
Valerian.
Yeah, and then Adam is just kind of
You're not fooling everyone.
No.
yeah, Adam's just like, you're not fooling anybody. Like, I don't understand why you're upset about like his offer. Like, he owes us. Like, we deserve something. You know, like we've been like wallowing in slum our whole lives, and
Where we should be in the castle and
Yeah.
living as kings.
yeah, we should be living like his sons, and we're not.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, Alan's main issue though is like, oh, I don't want anybody thinking I'm I'm getting special treatment. Like, bro, you're his son. You should be getting special.
pretty
Yeah,
much,
but also-
We're
yeah.
both his sons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but also it's like he, like one, you know, he's looking at it, it's like, well, he didn't help us before, so why the fuck do we need him
Yeah, he
now?
kinda like-
and his brother is like, well, he's always kind of favored you,
Yeah.
always overlooked me,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, and if you go along with this,
maybe I can come
fucking
along.
help me out, bro.
Yes.
pretty much.
Yeah, but Alan is just not having. It's like
No.
don't count on him, man. Like
No.
to do the right
well,
thing.
it's just that that's pride. It's pride.
Yep.
It's hurt pride. Actually.
Yeah, it is.
It's hurt pride.
It is. Because he knows, he knows the
And
truth of the
then-
matter, but
yeah.
he's not. Corliss doesn't acknowledge,
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Alan makes that remark that like the sea smoke would rather watch Driftmark sink below the tides than to acknowledge them as his sons, bastards as his sons.
That's just like saying,
And
like that's
that's
just
rough.
saying a lot. It's
Yeah.
rough. Yeah.
And okay, now we're back in Dragon Keep. Woo!
Jace over here trying to console his
All
mom.
the drama is happening.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so Raina's on her favorite like upset view, whenever
Yeah,
she's like
overlooking
having a
the
moment.
sea, yeah.
She's always in the same spot.
It
That's where
is.
she goes to.
This is
to
my pouting
vent.
spot.
This is where she goes to pout and
It's her favorite brooding spot.
her brooding location. Yeah, so Jace comes up and he's just like, yeah, so everyone's talking about he slapped Lord Bartimus, and the whole staff is talking about it. You want to tell me what happened? And she's like, I should have took his tongue. And he's like, what did he really say to warrant that? Like, come on, what did he really say, Mom, that was that bad, And that's when she's just like, they've just,
She's just fed up with it.
She's just, yeah, I understand. Like, and she's really frustrated. Like, they've just been undermining her. They haven't really been taking her seriously.
Yeah.
And, like, she was named Viserys' heir. Like, and she should be taken seriously, but they're not because she's a woman.
Yeah. They see her as a mom, as a maiden, all these soft things.
And he's just like, well,
You are
they're
my
not-
mom, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you are my mom, and you are, that's what you are. And then he pretty much is just like, she's like, I don't have the forces, I don't have
Yeah.
the
men.
army, I don't have the means to do this. And he was like, well, that's why we need Damon.
And
then
that just throws her
she just
off
like
for a loop.
She's like, can we just fucking go one day without talking about fucking Damon? Like, throwing Damon in my face. Marsha. I can't do anything if he flew off on his dragon and he's not talking to us. What do you want me to do? And I feel her frustration. It's not her fault. Like, he literally
dude.
like
He
flew
did,
off and like in a tizzy fit and a pouting like whatever. Like,
In her greatest time of need.
yeah, just totally, and he's just not even responding.
Yeah.
That's the other part.
You could
It's
at
like,
least call.
you could at least call or tell me that you're
Like,
okay.
let me know you're alive at least.
Yeah, and she knows she doesn't have the army to beat the Greens.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have the men to do it, and and then that's eventually that's when Massaria arrives, and she's like, the gift has been sent, your grace. And then Jace is like, what gift? Yo, you didn't tell me, Mom. Wait, Mom.
You don't need to worry about this.
What are we talking about? And she's like, well,
Nobody
it's-
says anything.
they're just like, ooh, well, let's hope for clouds over Blackwater. And his face is just like,
It's like, be that way.
yeah, and he just like storms off to pout again, like he's been doing a lot this
Well,
this season, and I understand, but at the same time, like, can you just shut up?
they're doing the same thing Rhaenyra's complaining about. They're doing to him. So
Yes.
yeah, he has a reason to pout también. But
I
yeah,
get it,
like
yeah.
go pout over there.
Yes.
Go to your room.
He's a teenager.
That's true.
Right? He's 15. You just calm down.
Comes
you
with
know?
the territory.
Like, so
We make our way to Blackwater.
yeah. So then now we're where are we?
Blackwater boat arrives wearing bearing the Targaryen banner. Mm-hmm. Some guy just stumbles upon it, like, what's this here? Oh, what do we have here? Food, fresh
boats
food.
of food, many boats of food.
Yeah,
just
you like
floating
you
right
see over
in.
the horizon. It's
He's
like,
like, we know you're starving.
hey, there's a note in there. It's like, hey, I heard you guys were hungry. I figured you want something to eat.
Hey, heard you guys were starving.
It's like
Here's
X-
some noms.
XOXO,
Love
Ray
Rhaenyra, Ray.
Ray.
Just
Love Queen Ray. XOXO. Kissy face. Yeah, totally. Exactly what it was. Exactly what it was, which is great.
Such a simple scene, but like it
Right.
said a lot.
yes.
Like
It
so
really
much.
did.
And that play was incredible because now like it's like, oh, like everything they're saying about her being a bitch,
Yes.
and she's fucking
Like, we can
sucks.
forgive her cutting off infants' heads. It's all good.
Like-
As long as she feeds us.
They're like, child murderer. Who?
Yeah.
What child murderer? We just know Queen Rhaenyra. The
Is
woman, she
feeding
cares
us.
about us. She hasn't forgotten.
Water under the bridge. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
So it's like, why you talking all that shit when you ain't feeding us? But she is, huh?
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then we go back to Allison, who's with Aegon, trying to be a mother, quote unquote.
You know, she's really good at sitting next to bedsides.
Yeah. Or
Pretending to care. That's her favorite thing to do. Sit
Waiting.
next to a bed and pretend to care about the person in it.
Waiting
Yeah.
for the king to be announced.
Yes.
Orwell's like, hey, so he's doing okay? He's sleeping a lot.
Well, she was like, how come he's not awake? You said he was awake. He's not awake. He's sleeping. And he's just like, yeah, he sleeps 9 out of every 10 hours.
Like, he
And,
needs his rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's because he just got threatened by his brother.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm just gonna. Or Orwell is just drugging him so much to where he's not awake. So maybe it's just like a combination of the two, and
Yeah,
then
most
just
likely.
being like, we gotta keep me under because my brother's gonna kill me if I don't. You know,
Yeah.
like maybe it's just like a combined thing.
Yeah, but despite everything, Orwell's pretty confident that he might survive.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Allison's response is her response is like, this girl just does not stop being horrible.
I know.
If he survives, what will he be?
Jesus.
What will he be if he lives? Like, what is that supposed to be?
Like,
and Orwell's
meaning-
looking at her like, he'll be alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that enough? Isn't that a good thing?
Well,
But
you really
I
want to
think
get
it's-
to it. It'll be a monster, scarred, crippled monster. Is that what you want to hear, Allison? Your son's gonna be a monster. He won't be able to walk. He won't even. No one's gonna be able to look at him. Is that what you want to hear, Allison? Like,
Orwell's like trying to leave. I'm not
Yeah.
staying around for this. What were you gonna say, Jen?
It's just so awful.
She really
It's just comical at this point
she's
because because now, okay, maybe the point was that maybe she was trying to find out if like maybe we're saved, you know, maybe Aemon can get off the throne and we can put him back in, you know. The you know, not focusing on how deformed he's gonna be.
nobody wants a cripple king.
But you know, I mean, Viserys looks worse. I just say towards the end. So.
Sarah said, like chunks of himself falling off. Okay, it's not. He's not that
People
bad.
lost their appetite at the party.
Dude, like, Viserys had to walk around with that mask on to hide
Yes.
his decaying face.
Yeah.
Either way, like Orwell's just like
The
trying
man in
to.
the iron mask.
Orwell's
He was
trying
the
to.
original one-eyed baby.
Yeah, Orwell's just like trying to inch out of there, and before he
Like father, like son.
yeah. Before he can get out of there, freaking Allison's like, hey, so those letters I gave you, did you send them? You can't get your break.
Yeah, I
Leave me
know.
alone, lady.
Right? Did you hear any word from my dad?
Yes.
You know, is any word from that guy? And he's just like, nope.
No.
And worse, it looks like the Reach is, you know, they're kind of pissed about. No, not the Reach. No, the Reach and the Houseberry.
No, they are.
They're
Because
pissed about
Cole.
Lord's death, the Lord's Layman's death, because Cole smacked his head
yeah.
into the pole.
Remember?
Yeah, Mr. B's very.
That's the one that went onto
murdered
the
him.
table.
Sit down.
Yep. And the Beesberries are like kind of like a little bit north of Old Town because Old Town's kind of like a southern coastal town. They're kind of just stuck in the bottom and they're surrounded by water. So the only way they can get out of Old Town is to go through the Reach.
Yeah.
Go by all these houses that now are pissed off.
Exactly, yeah.
Them being
So yeah, so that should
well,
be interesting.
all we know is that he was alive was he was in the council, and he also was unalived at the council.
yeah.
Yeah. Either way,
So, yeah.
Orwell had sent ravens to High Garden, Old Town, the Reach, and Houseberry, and then he tells us like, yeah, so they kind of want blood for his death.
Oh yeah.
And basically,
Ooh.
Allison, you can see her as
Yeah.
like, crap, like,
Yeah.
am I literally alone at this point?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you can see Orwell goes like, I'm just gonna go.
I'm
and he
gonna
dips
go.
out of there.
Yeah.
It's I'm just telling you how it is.
Yeah.
Now I'm leaving.
He slinks away. And then she looks over to Aegon, starts like apologizing him, like half-assed apologies. I'm sorry. Sorry.
So like, but she didn't say what
I'm
for.
sorry.
I don't know, maybe for being a
sorry.
lousy mother.
Yeah.
Should begin with a list.
Pull out the scroll.
Yeah. And then she decides she's got to go say goodbye to Cole.
Oh my.
But, you know, she kind of sees that he's, like, surrounded by other people. And then her brother's right there. So then she's just
Gwen.
like... And he notices her right when she comes out in the courtyard.
He's like,
and
oh,
then
crap, don't look at me.
she's just like, oh, shit, I gotta... Hey, Gwen. So I'm glad I found you out here. I've been looking all over for you.
I wanted to give you my blessings.
Want to give you some blessings. And then ask if you've heard from Dad. He's
Yes.
just like, why the fuck? Dad doesn't even like me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even
favorite.
send any messages to him. So
Yes.
why the hell would he talk
Yeah,
to me?
yeah.
You're his favorite. Just like, bitch, I know you were out to say goodbye to Cole. Don't
Yeah,
pretend like
yeah.
you're out to see me. Like,
Yeah. And no, but Allison's like, don't you think it's funny? No one's heard from Otto. And Gwen, even though like he obviously doesn't like his dad, he goes like, Otto Hightower was just a resourceful man. If he wanted to be found, he'd be found. And if he wanted to get word out, he would get word out. So stop tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
much.
for as much as you can dislike Otto,
He respects him, I guess. Yeah.
well, like even I respect Otto
Yeah.
because he is resourceful, he is intelligent. But I mean,
You can't
he's
keep him
still
down.
a dick.
You can't keep him down.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta be that way to get,
That's true. Get ahead.
And although, like I mean, like they're sending for him to come back as hand, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
like this exile like kinda
Humbles him a little bit.
humbles him because like I want to see that intelligence put to good use.
No, yeah. Yeah.
and not
'cause
for
he-
selfish gain.
Mm-hmm.
He would probably be able to help a little bit.
Oh, he'll be able to help a lot of it.
I said a little bit because let's see who sabotages him when he's trying to do that. That's what we got to look out for.
Well, Otto would also see that coming. That's
True.
the thing.
Well, he didn't see the last one coming when freaking Aegon banished.
Yes.
Well,
right?
that's because
Doesn't matter.
reasons.
Yeah. Either way, Allison then asks for her youngest son, Darren, who, Lane, I know you've been mentioning him a couple of times because we had forgotten that there was a fourth kid. Darren. Yeah.
Yeah, Darren.
Yeah.
I like
Daron.
how Gwen says.
Yeah, so she
certain
asked
thing, though.
Gwen about Darren, like, what's Darren about? And he's just like, does he not write to you? Do you not get a fucking letter? Do you not get a raven from him? Like, she's just like, no,
less and
it's less and less. And he's just like, yeah, well, you know, he's 16, so I guess, like, you know, he's got other interests. And he's just like, yeah, he's good. He's, you know, he can play.
Basically.
He's good at swords. He's
Yeah.
good at playing the guitar.
He's a good kid, yeah.
Yeah. And
Lute,
it's
whatever.
because he wasn't with
Yeah.
That's what Gwen says.
Yeah, he's just like, seems like the, you know, if you don't grow up in the Red Keep, you turn into a decent person.
Yeah. And you're happy too.
long-
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Who would have seen that coming?
Yes.
And like, I kind of like how Gwen talks about his nephew, though. Like, you
Yeah.
can tell, like that.
Oh, yeah,
dude,
he's proud of him, yeah.
he's proud of him. He cares about him, and he's like, "I'm not letting you anywhere near him, you crazy."
You-
bitch."
yes.
Actually, Allison's like you think it's the fact that he didn't grow up here or he didn't grow up around me. And
Right.
even though Gwen doesn't like Allison that much, he kind of tries to spare her feelings. Like, you did what you could.
But we all knew what he meant.
Yeah.
Like,
Did
no, no.
honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she knew too, but he was like trying to be nice. It's like,
Because it's
You know,
still his sister,
you're a-
and he kind of
Yeah.
cares.
air quotes, good mom.
Yes.
Exactly, right?
And I think that's the best decision they made for him was sending
Yeah.
him.
Sending him away, yeah.
He's
he-
like, the best thing you did as a mother was sending him away.
yeah, pretty much. And it's true, you know? Like, he would have ended up just like his older brothers if he would have stayed
Probably
there.
worse, yeah.
And he would have been right here, like,
Yeah.
Missing 2 eyes.
Oh my gosh.
maybe.
Maybe
yeah.
an arm.
Or, you know,
Comes Kenshin.
maybe he
Mark
would have
on
been
it.
even worse than Aemon.
Yeah.
You know, he could be even worse than Aemon. You never know, but good thing they sent him away. I guess
Yeah.
that's all we gather from that scene.
I guess Viserys really was in this one without, a few put him away from Allison, Viserys can manifest in one of the children.
Yeah.
There you
It
go.
could be like
Like
his
the
dad.
Viserys DNA just sprouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Allison makes her way to Helena's room. Why? I don't know. And
Yeah.
she goes like, "Hey, you wanna go light a candle for your dying husband?"
Yeah. And everyone
Slash
we've
brother.
lost because she still can't like bring herself to name like Baby Jaehaerys, like they got
Yes.
murdered or whatever.
I know.
And,
Yeah.
and you know.
Oh yeah, for
everyone-
the ones we've lost.
Yeah, and the ones that we've lost. Yeah, so they go there, and then
Well, Helena,
well,
before they leave
sure
Helena,
She's just
Yeah.
looking for a friend now.
yeah,
She's like, oh, Helena,
right?
you're still here?
I forgot about you.
It's
daughter, you're still
everybody
cool
has
with me,
to-
right? You don't hate me yet, daughter, do you?
But before they leave, Helena's like with her crickets, and she points out that one stops singing.
Yes.
And she goes, "Isn't that strange?" Isn't that strange?" Now, if you follow Japanese culture, crickets are like a sign of good luck.
Lucky cricket.
Yeah,
I think
case in
it-
point, Mulan.
Mulan.
That's Chinese, so I think it's just like a
Oh yeah, you're right.
Asian culture
Yes.
where the crickets are lucky.
Either way, one
Crickets,
stopping.
lucky one.
If one stops singing, that's kind of like considered a bad omen.
Yeah.
Either way,
It is.
Allison's like, let's go. Let's go to the church, the grand step. Past the rest, even like light a candle for your dying husband and the others we lost, quote unquote. And then we go to that area, and he's like walking around, and he sees like people
Oh, yeah.
running around, and they're like they have food, and it's like, hey, where'd you get that? Queen Rhaenyra sends her best regards. She thinks of us even though she's not here.
Well, first, before he does that, he's like walking, and then he sees the dog. And
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's like the
Dude,
rat. I
what
think
is
it's
with
the
that
rat.
dog?
I think it's the rat catcher's dog, the same dog. And then he sees the dog, and he
Yes.
like says hi to the dog. So yeah, our boy's still around.
Aw.
Our best boy's still around.
Aw,
So yeah, that was really cute.
that dog's immortal.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's
He
either
sees
that,
himself.
or you can
Turtle
think of
snake.
it in a really dark way that he was like, dog, might have dog for dinner. It could be
Yeah.
either way. I
Yes.
like to think that he was just happy.
No, he was petting
and he was
him.
happy to see the dog, and he knows the dog's been through some shit.
Yes. Well, now that he saw
But yeah.
food, that probably deterred him from dog meat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But at
he
the
had
same
that
time,
food because
like-
he punched a dude out. He's like, give me your shit, homie.
Clogged him like
Oh,
he's straight
he's
up
straight.
doing that food, and he
That guy's dead. That guy's dead. Okay.
That haymaker, dude. Mike Tyson would be proud.
Oh yeah. He like punched that guy and instant death. Just
He did a 360 no scope on his neck.
Yes.
He turned into the fucking exorcist.
the Bruce Lee's 5-finger death punch got nothing on him.
Freaking Hugh, man. Like that's
Yeah.
that's what hunger.
And the
is.
best
He's a
part
big
is
fucking
it was
blacksmith. Like,
the best part is he got carrots.
And
Cabbage.
cabbages. Like cabbages.
The cabbage is just like the running theme
Yeah.
of this episode. I freaking can't. It's so funny. Like you Avatar watching writers. Like
They should have
I see you.
named the episode "Attack of the Cabbages."
The cabbages. Yeah.
Either way, we go back to the grand step, and Allison and Helena are praying, and the King's Guard immediately, like, basically a riot is underway, and
Like, we need to go.
yeah, the King's like, "Hey, we gotta go." Like,
outta here.
people are not happy right now, and they're trying to get her out of the way. And this scene, like, I think we
oh, this is like the best scene.
Yes,
best
it was.
scene in the entire episode. And
Because everything's coming to a head now.
like
Yes.
you see a crowd just like getting ready to pounce, and some guy goes like,
That's
"There's the queen of the fishes," and clocks right. They aim, dude, like
right at her
point
face.
right there on the face, man. It's like
probably
bam.
played on their
And
dart
her
team.
face
Hell
was
yeah.
just like
It's like, what is this? People eat this?
yeah. And then poor Helena got hit like right
Oh,
after, and that
yeah.
was not cool.
Dude, I felt
Helena
so bad
got
for
pegged in the head with a
Helena.
fucking potato or some
Oh,
shit.
yeah,
Dude, like,
terrible.
Poor Helena. They
Helena.
get split, and then
you know,
Helena's just
yes.
like there.
She's
like,
getting cornered.
Her fear, like I wanted
Yeah.
to hold her, like.
But
I
you,
got you.
yeah. Do you notice like whenever she's like something scary or something stressful is happening,
She breaks down, yeah.
well, she covers her ears.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
She does.
Like it's the noise. It's too much
Yeah,
for her.
that's- yeah.
So on the spectrum.
No, she's definitely
yeah.
a spectrum, but
She's
Definitely.
definitely special.
No, yeah.
And like
And
in a very good way because she can
But
see
you
the
see that,
future
like,
and shit.
again-
But yeah.
again, like Allison's like, this was all her fault. She told her, "Come with me. Let's light a candle." She wouldn't have been out there. If it was
Fucking light a candle,
Yeah.
like, bitch. I don't want to light a
But
candle.
also,
I just
you
want to play
can't-
with my bugs, right?
Yeah,
she
but
would have
also-
left her to look at her crickets. She was fine. She was at peace.
So fine. You should have lit your damn candle by your damn self, Allison.
I agree. This is Allison's fault for bringing her, but Allison didn't know that fucking Rhaenyra was feeding her people and doing espionage, and then a fucking crowd was gonna form up to
Yeah.
fucking kill her.
Doesn't
and
matter,
basically-
man. Everything's her fault.
Basically, as they're trying to make their way to their carriage, like a citizen grabs
Yes.
Allison, gets his sword jumped off.
Yeah, but Allison saw what was gonna happen. She's like, no,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
the dude goes for it, and she's like, put your fucking sword away.
Which was also a dumb order, by the way. Like, you basically tell them, put your guns away and let these people kill you. Which
No.
essentially is
Well,
what happened.
see, I mean, things
it's
were.
their-
Well, the people were upset and they were just throwing shit. That him cutting that dude's arm off escalated everything. Like
yeah, that was the catalyst that really got them.
But it was also fucking Aegon's little drinking buddies
Mhm.
were the guys that were their guards, and
Yeah.
they don't know what they're
They don't know
doing.
what they're doing. Yeah,
They
True,
don't
like-
know- they're not
seasoned.
actual real guards,
No.
you
That's
know.
true.
So it's those three idiots that get stuck there and essentially just get maimed by the crowd. Like, I don't think any three of them survived.
I just
like,
like it's funny because you see the guy kind of like bobbing and weaving, and all of a sudden this dude comes up from behind him and just
Pulls
grabs
him down.
It's like
But yeah, Elaine's right because you see all the veteran guards. They're like they're even yelling, "Put your swords away!"
Yeah.
And they're grabbing the queens and hustling them to the carriage.
Oh yeah, you could
Yeah.
tell the veterans from the rookies because they were going like, watch your corners, mind
They
your
were
blind
giving
side,
direction, yeah.
and get them to the carriage.
Yeah.
And they finally get them to there. The guy goes like, run them over if you have to get them out of here.
run them down.
If you have to, I mean, but like he had to make that call because they had to get him
Yeah,
out.
they
there.
have to get them, protect them, and then you hear the people just like yelling, "Long live Queen Rhaenyra!" And as they're leaving, Allison like notices a cut in her arm. Ah, season 1 stuff coming back.
Yeah, they love to tie into
Yes, they
season
do.
1.
Yeah.
Oh, they love it.
It's a
so
circle.
much.
It comes around
Told
like
you,
a
for
circle.
circle.
It is.
Full circle.
You know,
It
these
is.
circles make a square.
She's like, oh, this is what it feels like to bleed.
Right?
No, I think she was thinking back to that
Yeah, to when
that
she-
episode where
yeah.
she like her and Rhaenyra had that beef and like she cuts her. There's
Yeah.
it's like my comeuppance finally comes full circle.
Yes.
I deserve this. I
deserve
deserve this. Yeah, I deserve
One
this.
can only hope that's what she was thinking.
Yes.
You know, one can only
Well, it
hope.
looked like that was something similar to like, oh,
It's
yeah.
like I brought this onto
Yeah.
myself. Like at this
Yeah.
point, I
It
got
reminds
no
me of
argument.
another occasion. Oh yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
And then we make our way. We're still in the Red Keep at this point, and Daenerys is sitting
We
with
are.
Aegon. And go,
Scene is so funny.
actually, man, I want you to talk about this because I know you like Larys so, and I know like basically what he says here is like, I'm wondering if this is something that somebody told him that. So go, Matt, go. Like
Wait.
Larys with Aegon, and he's basically telling him like, "Hey, buddy."
They take his drink away at first.
Yes.
Like, they're going to give him the milk of
yeah.
the poppy.
Yes.
And then Laird is like, no, he doesn't need it. Like, in an hour, he'll want it
Right.
more.
Yeah.
Right? And then Aegon's just like... like reaching
My
and like
drugs.
crying, like just sobbing for the
Drugs.
drink. Like, no, don't take my milk of the poppy.
Yeah, but like this scene was really well done because I do like what he said. He's like, I came out screaming. I had strong lungs, but I had fucked up feet, you know? And he's like, and my father screamed that was witchcraft and all this and that and the other thing. And he kept telling him, he's like, look, they bandage your leg and bound it, but you're never gonna walk again.
No, we'll run. He might be able to walk, but like with a cane.
Yeah, but he's pretty much telling them that, and he's
You're like me now.
You're a cripple.
Yes.
And the only
Hey,
thing that
buddy.
you have that will help you is your mind.
Yup.
Yes.
And so,
Oh, and also the fact that they're gonna be underestimated now.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be your greatest ally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. And but that's why I like him so much.
Yeah. No, I figured you would. You like that scene.
And it's because like Clubfoot here.
Yes.
Like, he knows the score. He knows what
yeah.
it's like to be underestimated. But even though he's written exactly like Littlefinger, like I've said before, he's fucking smart. He knows what he's doing, and now he's like gonna help like
Aegon, yeah.
Aegon. Like, he's like, okay, you're like me. I'm not gonna just use you for power.
I genuinely feel that he actually
yes.
is looking out for his best interest because, and like I said, I feel like what he told Aegon is
Yes.
what I feel like he wanted somebody to say that to him, or maybe somebody did say that to him. Maybe his mom.
Yeah.
And I feel like Aegon, even though when he told him like, "Oh, you're never gonna be able to run," Aegon's like breaking down and he's starting to cry, and it's like, don't think that as a bad thing. Like, you still have this, you still have your mind. That is gonna be your best weapon.
Yeah.
Like, your best weapon. You gotta hone that.
And that's why he took away the
Goof
drugs.
juice, yeah.
Well, it's not goof juice.
No, I know, I just
it's
call everything goof juice.
it's their version of
Pain meds, basically.
Yeah,
ibuprofen,
no, better than what's that? Morphine.
morphine.
It's
Yeah,
their morphine, pretty much.
lidocaine.
It's the good shit.
Yeah, no, and he's also telling Aegon's like, it's like Aemon's probably gonna try to still
Yes.
kill you, so you gotta sharpen that wit.
Yeah.
And also, like, he's like, you're still alive, and so you're now in the most danger you are, especially that you're bedridden.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're not gonna be able to run away from your.
Like, I'm not a fan of Laris, but in this scene, he was good because it feels like not only was he helping himself, but he was helping him, which means if he gets him strong enough, he is going to help him in the long run.
Yeah, Daenerys is
It's like
pretty
they're helping each other out.
or
Laris.
Laris. Yeah, Laris is.
Daenerys.
I get shit confused. Laris is kind
Venereal.
He's taking those. He's kind of like filling that role that Otto was doing beforehand, before he was banished.
Yeah.
Because even though Otto was a selfish prick, he was legitimately trying to help him be a king.
He was.
Yeah.
I mean, would it serve his own needs? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he was teaching him how. He was the only guy. He's the only one that had his back. Now Laris is filling that role.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. And then we make our way back to Harrenhal.
But that's why I like him better than Littlefinger. Littlefinger's just such a little butt plug. Fucking hate that guy. So glad when his throat got slit. Thank you, Arya.
everyone
Thank you,
was.
Arya.
Everyone was.
And there's the deviate. Anyways, back to Harrenhal, where freaking Dame Aemon is having another acid
Daemon,
trip.
yeah.
Damon.
Dang it, with the Amons
See?
and the Damons.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
There's too many fucking names that are similar.
There's a lot of
Either way-
Aegons, Amons.
Yeah, either way, Damon is having another flashback where he's comforting Viserys after the death of Aemma. And it's so
Another good scene.
it's so sad
It was
because
very-
like you could see the genuine not remorse, but he genuinely felt bad for his brother.
I think it was genuine remorse.
Yes.
Because he says to him, he's like, I wasn't there when you needed me most, but I'm here now. And unlike other people, Daemon is actually redeemable.
Yeah. And he did love genuinely Viserys, and it showed right there in that scene. And it was nice to see Viserys again. And just his how hurt he was after the loss of his life. That's a man that really loved his wife. But that whole scene, and then he finally comes to, because Sir Strong's like, hey, so Grover Tully just died. Which is weird because Alice, our girl here, Alice, was kind of helping him, but somehow he kicked the bucket after that. And she's our best healer.
Yep.
He's like, she applied her craft, but he still died somehow.
Yeah. And that scene is always really interesting because how did Alice get all the way over there
Yeah, for real.
and back to the castle? Like
Yeah. Well, she said 3 days. It must have been 3 days.
3 days.
Yes.
Yeah, but when I deep dived into this, so I saw
Here we
someone
go.
was
She
like,
left it this
yeah, someone really was like very curious about this
Yes,
too, and they kind of added up like how long it took
Oh
from
my god.
certain
Yeah, but-
people
Yeah.
certain people to get from certain points to certain points on
Yes.
the map, and it took. They were saying it took Jason Lannister 1 week to get from like Casterly Rock to Wisdom Tooth.
What?
And it would take at least a day and a half to get from Harrenhal to where the Tullys live, and then another day and a half to get back. But how do you get there? Like she would had to have gotten there like that soon. So
Like literally the day she told him, like,
yeah,
3 days.
So there's no way like she would have been able to just ride a horse and get there back in that amount of time, which also makes like maybe she flew there as an owl. So maybe she is a fucking barn owl and she just flew her ass over there. There, it's just one of those things where it's just like, that doesn't seem like the right amount of time for her to be able to even get there. First and foremost, like,
She's a witch.
So
She could have rode a horse nonstop at full speed the whole way.
that horse would have died.
Yeah, the horse would have died.
That horse
And then
would be
borrowed
dead.
another one.
And did it. And rode full speed, no stops, nothing the whole way. Yeah. No.
At
it's
most,
just
a horse
not-
can run
not
nonstop
plausible.
for about 30 to 45 minutes. Nonstop. That's from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's like
Nonstop. Like,
We'll Google that.
yeah, no, nonstop
yeah.
without stopping. A horse can run about 45
I feel like
minutes.
horses can do what they want.
No. They can gallop and they can trot, but I'm talking about if you're pushing a horse top speed.
horses do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
They
they
just
want
fucking horse.
Well, they really
they
do.
want to run 90 miles an hour
But-
nonstop for 30 miles.
But
they
even
can do
they
it. All right.
have to drink water.
Yeah, and they
or
have
eat-
the-
This isn't real life, Ed. This is fucking Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, make believe land. Okay.
No, we're
Their horses
we're
are
throwing
built different.
logic in here and geometry. Okay, we're
I
we're
can do some
mathing and
calculus.
sciencing over
I
here.
can only imagine that deep dive lane, like the guys talking about it, like if a train leaves this station at this time,
God, man.
and it goes at 450
and then they were
kilometers
like,
an hour.
and then they were
Dude,
like,
I
oh, it would
hated
take.
those questions.
Yeah, it
Like,
was so stupid that they were like, oh, it would take Kristen Cole and Gwen like 2 weeks to
Yeah.
march from this location to this location, which is this distance, and it took them a week to march this distance, but it's the same exact distance. So how was she able to get there in a day and a half
Exactly.
versus everyone else who walked the same distance? It took them
Exactly.
like a week. That's the whole thing that they were like I was getting at, and I was trying to figure out, and then that's a whole other like thing that it's just
Another
like
deep dive.
she's got some like she's magical. She's got some stuff going on,
Yeah.
and
She
she
took more
totally
steroids.
she totally killed Grover Tully. She
Obviously.
killed that man.
But
She put the pillow over his face. Okay.
but
She took a page out of Damon's
But
playbook.
then Sir
Yeah.
Strong was like, "Oh, he fucking died of he died of old age, I suppose." Some
Yeah.
shit.
I suppose that's what happened.
either way,
but
Damon's
Oscar,
reaction.
yeah, Oscar.
Oscar's in charge. The Riverlands are yours. But Damon's reactions is just so like weird and funny at the same time because he's like, oh yeah, all right, cool, I got my army, and then he starts to sob.
She did say 3 days.
Right? Yeah, and he was like the old man.
Right?
I'm like, yeah, the old
Anything
man.
could happen and all
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, good. And he just starts crying.
Like,
Yeah.
Probably over it. He's like, "I'm tired of being poisoned."
I'm tired of these dreams.
Yeah.
either way, freaking Damon just like I think he's happy. He's like, oh, this means I can leave now. I can
Exactly.
finally leave.
If he's happy,
Sorry,
imagine how
Ryan.
Cyrex is feeling.
For
Correct.
real.
He's just
Correct.
like-
Caraxes is so excited. He's like, oh,
Like,
thank
we can
God.
leave this time for real.
Finally.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
We can go do dragon shit now.
Yeah, and then we make our way back to Driftmark, and Adam is like just like near the water, and just I don't even know what he's doing. He's probably fishing. And then here comes Sea Smoke is like, hey buddy.
Yeah.
Everyone's freaking out. Everyone's running. And then Adam's just like, dude. And
Like,
then,
come here, I
Yeah.
just want to play with you.
Yeah, he's running. He thinks he escapes. I just love how Sea Smoke just fucking lands.
Dude, for real.
That was so badass. She's like, "Hi."
I found you. Okay. Hey, you. I found you.
He's like, "You thought you could get away from my
Yeah.
dragon's nose and eyesight, bitch? Please."
Right?
And he goes like, hey, guess what? You're gonna be my new rider.
Yeah, it's definitely. It was kind of very much like the vibe of like him trying to figure out. He's like, okay,
Are you here to kill me?
I think no, but like even Sea Smoke, he's like, I think you've kind of smelled a little something, something.
Yes.
You smell
And I
like
really
it
got
a
to
little
figure
bit,
this
yeah.
out, you know?
Yes.
And I think it's like a lot has to do with just, there's a lot of people talking about how, like, oh,
There's a chance
they're,
Lenore.
well, but yeah, but they're saying that it's, why would this guy who's not a Targaryen and a bastard, like, be able to tame Sea Smoke and whatnot? And because the Valerians
Yes.
don't have any, according to lore and everything, the Valerians don't have the dragon rider powers. They didn't get it. They just had a lot of boats, right? So there's a lot of people talking like, well, how is it that he's able to? Because he doesn't have any.
Lenore was able to tame a dragon.
But his mother was a Targaryen.
But
Rhaenys was a Targaryen.
Oh, that's right.
I have a theory on this. I think it's like, I think the Targaryens, they just were lucky in a lot of ways, but I think it's like whoever the dragon feels. Like the dragon vibes with that
Yeah.
person, you know? And like maybe Sea Smoke was just flying around and his little dragon senses were like tingling. He's like,
You
hey,
smell like him.
he's like,
Yeah,
you seem pretty
you're kind of
cool,
familiar,
dude.
right?
No, my theory is that, like you had said, Lane, like even though he's not Targaryen, he's still half coreless. So obviously, Sea Smoke recognizes that. Like, I smell a part that smells familiar, because Lenore would have smelled part like coreless, and he's like, it's not Targaryen, but it's close enough. So I guess I can use you.
Yeah.
So that's my theory.
That's the theory that I came to too. I was like, oh, I think it's just a familiar scent. Because it's like
Yeah,
they
'cause a
they
lot
have
of-
the same dad.
Exactly.
you
A lot
know,
of
so it would
animals
be
do bond with people through
familiar.
scent. Yeah.
But then the other thing is that in the beginning, you know, when Viserys was telling Rhaenyra about the prophecy, and he's like, the thought that Targaryens can control dragons is fake,
Yeah. It's
false.
Yeah.
So
It's a lie we concocted.
what if the Targaryens just told everybody that they're the only ones that
Yeah,
can
so
control
they're the
dragons?
only ones that could
so
try to
they
tame
could be
one.
more powerful and come off as like a stronger
Yeah.
family to be able to the only ones that can control these dragons, where in reality Valeria, if you come from Valeria and you have Valerian blood, and that's where all the blood magic happens, I think that as long as you have Valerian blood in you, that you can be a dragon rider. It doesn't matter what house, but the Targaryens just made everybody think that they are special.
So they can bogart the dragon.
Because what
gonna go
other
up against
dragon
you?
riders in the world are going to be like, that's not true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all dead.
Exactly.
And the only other people that survived the Valerian Doom were
Targaryens.
the Targaryens, and then the Corlys's family. So I think that's really what it is. As long as you have Valerian blood in
Makes
you,
sense.
you are able to control dragons, not just the Targaryen blood, which is the route that Rhaenyra and Jace are going down. That they think, oh, royal Targaryen blood is what's going to get you to be a dragon rider. But I don't think it's that. I think it's just the Valerian blood.
Yeah.
That's the key important part
also,
of the equation.
Well, there's also like a lot of special stuff that has to be with Valerian, like Valerian steel. It's the only thing that could kill the Night King and the
Yes.
and the zombies and shit like that. And like the armor is super special and all this other shit. So there's like a
Yeah.
lot of
Mystical
ties to
Valerian?
Valerian.
Yeah, Valerian stuff.
stuff. Okay. I mean, it all makes sense.
Yes.
But either way, Sea Smoke is now bonded to Adam.
He chose him.
Yeah, he chose
He's got
him.
a type, baby.
Oh, yeah. He likes the pretty boys.
Yes, he loves the dark-skinned, gorgeous boys.
Oh, yeah.
Who like to live by the ocean and the sand and their
the flock of
sea-
seagull
yeah.
hairdo.
They love the sea air, the
The,
sea slip. They're just gorgeous.
the old school weekend hairdo.
Yes.
Love it. He definitely has a type.
Or the Killmonger.
Yeah.
The Killmonger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing like using a dragon for DNA testing.
That's right. Yeah. Right. That's the way if you want. Yeah, DNA test from a dragon.
Yeah, and then this is pretty much where the episode wraps up. We go back to Dragonstone, where Rhaenyra is informed by Mysaria that like a lot of the people were able to get the banners into the Red Keep before I guess they told them to turn them down or put them away. And even though this should be good news, Rhaenyra kind of feels like, you know what, even with all this, I don't think I can win this war. I just don't have the resources. And she even it's become apparent that she's sad that her own son doubts her and should ask Daemon for help. And Miss Sarah the whole time is like, dude, Miss Sarah is like just a one-man cheerleader because everything she does is like, girl, you're doing okay. Like, just have a little faith in yourself. And she's basically,
You can do it.
Rhaenyra pretty much thinks like, I think Daemon just turned on me, and Macer's like, this dude is just looking out for himself. He's doing what he wants to do because this is what he wants to do, whatever benefits.
Yeah, and she just pretty much reinforces that it's like
he's a douche.
It's Damon.
Yeah,
like
he's a
when
douche.
has he not had his own agenda?
Exactly, and
True.
and Rhaenyra kind of like is talking about him. It's like, you know, he's everything she wanted to be, which is a carefree, strong man, but in return,
She's like, I wanted to be a boy.
yeah, but in return, Aemon kind of wanted to be or have what Rhaenyra have, which was the love of her dad and, well, the heir to the throne.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it's interesting how Rhaenyra like kind of wishes she was
Yes.
Daemon, and then Daemon kind of wishes he
Exactly.
was Rhaenyra.
Yes.
And it's just like this whole like weird. They're just like weirdly
Yeah,
tied
shoes,
together.
yeah.
Oh, they're-
Yeah.
Well, she points out that they're both the same. What is the thing? The two coins from the same.
Yeah.
Or
Two
both
sides of
two
the
sides of the
same
same
coin.
coin.
Two
Yeah.
sides of the same coin.
Or the same. Two
The same
different-
half. Yeah, two
Alright.
different halves of a
Yes,
whole.
yeah.
I was gonna say something about a snake because there's a snake one too. I forgot
Okay.
it.
Either way, Miss Sarah is like just trying to like, dude, like just have a little faith in yourself. And even for whatever reason she feels like she might win, how can she rule when nobody sees her as a ruler? Yeah,
Start smacking more people.
that might help.
Yeah.
It's like fucking listen.
Yeah, like because I
Throw
think
him in front of more dragons. Fuck
because
it.
I
Like,
think
yeah,
I
okay.
think Jace kind of putting doubt in her abilities is what really hurt her this episode, because she kept pointing like, even my son doubts me.
Yes.
It's like, what am I supposed to
Yes.
Well, he doubts everything because he's a dumb kid.
do? Yeah, but it's still, if it's your kid telling you that, it's gonna
Yes.
hurt, dude. It's gonna
It is.
Like-
But like I'm surprised you're not harping on that more, because like every time you watch something and you're like, and it has, especially like Gundam where they're like child soldiers, you're like, man, if they made fucking better decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's still her son, and his opinion of her matters to her, and it's obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
because
everybody else is not as bad as
Yeah.
when it's your own. friend
it's
or
your own
something
kid
like that.
telling you like, Mom, I don't think
Yeah.
you can do this. We need Damon.
Yes.
Damon.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. Because
And then Maceria, dude, like this scene, the scene from here, or the part of this scene is just like kind of heartwarming and sad at the same time, because she tells her a story that happened to her where her dad basically took advantage of her as a kid and knocked her up, and then tried to abort the kid, and he left her for dead basically.
yep.
Yeesh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that scene, I was like, holy smokes, dude. I only saw that scene one time, and that's all it took to just like ingrain itself into my mind. Because how could, like, like, how can a father do that to their child?
They were sick back in the day.
Yes, and still are now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That hasn't really changed.
Either way, like,
I feel like it was worse back then, though.
Maceria kind of just tells
Well,
us,
the fact
like,
that you could die because childbirth can't kill you.
yeah, Maceria
There's
just
that too.
reassures, like, if you feel you don't have anybody, dude, you have me. Like, I'm here for you. And like from there, it like it's really heartwarming, and she's basically
And
telling-
steamy.
She tells her, she tells Rhaenyra, it's like, you, like, because she made a vow after the whole incident with her dad, like, I would never trust anybody after that. And she didn't. She didn't trust Daemon. She didn't trust that guy that she worked with who burned down her house.
Yeah.
She didn't trust anybody.
Otto.
Otto, yeah. She didn't trust Otto.
And it's because like what she says is she's like, this is a cruel,
Yeah, cruel,
cold
yeah.
world, and very few are steadfast.
But then she continues to say, like, but you, Rhaenyra, you are probably the only person I know who is genuinely looking out for the best of her. You are a steadfast individual, and that is why I serve you. That is why I'm loyal to you. I believe you are the best ruler for, this kingdom. And Rhaenyra just like like
Walks up to her, hugs her.
she's overwhelmed by the whole thing, and it's a really sweet scene.
It is. I love that scene. I was so excited about it. And it, it was totally unscripted, and I appreciate that. It was just something that actors felt would fit. But like it also kind of just really brings like these two characters that have just been through so much
Yeah.
trauma and so much like bullshit essentially, and they've been able to just come together and just find a little bit of peace and understanding and acceptance of each other when no one else around them accepts them and is listening to them and helping them, or like it's like at this point it's kind of like those two against almost everybody else in a way. And I just thought it was very just perfect. And like this doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna become a couple and they're gonna do a thing. Like nothing may even come from this.
I mean,
like they might not even acknowledge this later on, and it might just be something that was like a one-off scene.
Yeah, because it was.
I don't know about that.
it could.
Rhaenyra
I'm
was
just-
enjoying herself
Yeah.
before they were
I
interrupted.
mean,
True.
it went from a warm embrace to a passionate kiss.
True.
But
Then it started getting real hot and heavy.
yeah, and then in comes the guy and ruins it.
Yeah.
But it's
Isn't that how it always happens?
it's
Yeah.
just very interesting
I
because
was like, no, you ruined it.
so a few it's just a few things that they changed from like the books and like everything. It's like in the books, like Rhaenyra
This never
stays
happens.
it never happens, first and foremost. Never happens. And Rhaenyra is always very supportive of everything that Daemon does. Like everything he's doing, she's supporting of it. She's not questioning it. She thinks like always he has like her best interest at heart, and that's their relationship in the book. And spoilers. I don't think they're gonna add. I don't think this character is actually even gonna come into play. But in the books, like he meets another character and ends up like having an affair with this character during the war. And Rhaenyra kind of finds out about it and is super jealous. But now that it's out there that they're not going to have this character, Nettles, they wrote her out. But now they have Mysaria and Rhaenyra kind of having a thing, which is the opposite. So instead of Daemon like having a fling with someone else while Rhaenyra is fighting for the crown, now Rhaenyra is having a fling with someone while Daemon is tripping balls in Harrenhal.
Well, I was going to say, Damon is fucking having an affair with his own mom.
Yeah.
Or, I was wondering if they were ever going to do something with Alice, like him and Alice have their
That
own
even
little
could be a thing too. Like,
and just
that
because
hasn't been
I think,
ruled out.
honestly, after watching all those things when he's like, remembering his brother, because it has to do a lot with his brother and how much he failed him, how much, all of that. And I think it's just that, I think what's happened there in Harrenhal is just telling him, you know what, maybe you need to come to terms that you're not gonna be,
You're not fit to rule.
yeah, you're not,
Pretty
you just
much.
are not.
I think that's like
And
the
I know,
whole
as
point,
much as
yeah.
it hurts, to accept that fact, you have to accept it. And I think that's what Alice is trying to get him to do, to accept that and humble him a little bit more down.
Oh, for sure.
No, yeah, and it's
Which
obvious.
that all in itself is an emotional affair.
Oh yeah.
Okay? It doesn't have to be physical. It could also be,
I
Yeah.
mean, it was a lot like between Brienne and Jamie, because that like he had that character to push him to get his redemption, and so that's like kind of like the relationship Damon and Alice had. Or what's her fucking name again?
Alice,
Yeah,
yeah.
I said it right. Yay!
You did. You got the name right.
Like that's kind of like their dynamic, except for they don't have a badass sword fight.
Yeah. Either way,
Yeah.
I mean, the episode ends with the guard coming in saying like, "Hey, so we spotted sea smoke flying over Spicetown," and Rhaenyra's like, "Yeah, he does that. Yeah, but he had a rider on him.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, who? I don't know. I couldn't tell. you." And then he asked like, "Should we summon the council?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm taking care of this." And
She just
Yeah.
goes and
But before that, she like looks over at Mysaria
Mysaria.
and is like and the mystery is like the Greens, and then she's like, who else could it be?
Mm-hmm.
So they're like worried that someone in the Greens has like tamed this dragon. So that's where she's like, oh, I gotta gut out and see who it is, and that's why
She's
she
like, dang it, 'cause we're
gets
gonna
on Cyrax, just leaves. Jace comes
Yes.
running out, Mom, where are you going, Mom?
Yeah, either way, she was like fed up. Like, no, I'm taking care of
Yeah,
it.
she's like, done. I'm leaving. I don't even
So
tell
like
you guys
I am not
shit.
gonna wait for somebody to tell
I'm
me.
not.
Yes,
We're doing
I
no.
should go, or
We ain't
no,
doing no
shouldn't.
cancel. We're not doing none of that.
I wear the pants. I'm making the decisions.
Hell yeah.
But
Get my
there's-
dragon.
There was one thing I think we kind of forgot about, and it's with Asmund. And
Who's Esmond?
Amen.
Assman? Amen.
Who's that?
Whatever his name is, but like when he, like I forgot who he was talking to, but they bring up his uncle, Damon.
Damon?
Yeah.
It's
And-
when Cole is saying like we can't really fight the Riverlands,
Right.
and then even he's like he's not an issue. Like
That's
he's
like
a challenge.
Scene 2, I think.
He's a challenge. I welcome.
Yeah, that I mean, I wanted to talk on that because for me and Lane, that's a lot of foreshadowing.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, if you remember in season 1, Aemon challenged Damon. I forgot why, but basically he had called him out, say like, if you think you're so tough, fight me. But Damon wasn't entertaining. I was like, you're just a kid, dude. Like you're throwing a fit. Like go sit down. But yeah, I mean, time will tell, obviously. But either way, I mean, great episode, despite what the naysayers on IMBD say.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I cannot believe people have given this episode a
They
low
review
rating.
bombed it, yeah.
A 1-star bombing because they kissed at the end.
Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah, so let me get this straight. You're okay with moms doing their son and cousins doing their cousins and brothers doing their sisters, but you draw the line at 2 chicks.
Yeah. 2 non-related chicks. kissing.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go even deeper into that. They're not even related by the slightest bit, okay?
I would like to point out there's a lot of gay stuff in Game of Thrones.
No, I'm just saying, but part of the reason this was review bombed, because unfortunately it was, it's because of that particular scene.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm getting at. In the show Game of Thrones, there's some gay stuff happening.
Yeah.
And every episode did really well. So, like, what the fuck? What's the difference between House of Dragon and Game of Thrones?
They're women.
Yeah, they're women. Either
Again,
way,
this is where the theme rings. Is like,
Yeah.
either way, I mean,
thing.
you can't sway me. It was a great episode. Definitely one of my top favorite next to the episode 4.
I love this episode. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
For not having any action.
Oh yeah.
Or any
Yes.
like crazy
It was
deaths,
very-
except for the burning death of the dragon. Now it's a
Right.
crazy death, which
Yes.
was intense.
It's-
but yeah, there was just so many layers and so
Yeah.
many good like little things.
Oh yeah.
So you can see everything starting to come like.
And-
Well, it's like
Full
like
circle.
watching this show. It feels like either like Guy Ritchie or Martin Scorsese directed it because they had this really good talent of drawing you in with dialogue and
Yes.
not like think of like Goodfellas or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Like there's action in those movies, but not a whole lot. It's just the dialogue is so well done.
Yeah.
You want to hear everything that's going on.
Also, you gotta give props to the person who wrote this episode. Lane, who was that again?
Oh man, I don't remember her name, but she wrote the first season. She wrote the episode that everyone loved, where Damon beheaded
The guy that was talking smack.
Corliss's
Still like the
brother.
Yes.
top episode.
Yeah, that was like the one of the top rated episodes of the season, and so the same chick that did this episode. So I just
so
think
props to her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great episode. And
Yeah. Hopefully
people
this
just
doesn't.
hate. They're just
hopefully
haters.
this doesn't dissuade her or discourage her from writing more episodes because she did a great job.
No, what she's probably gonna do is like, all right, bitches, you're mad at this. Let me put even more lesbian and gay stuff in the
That's
next
what
few
I
episodes.
really hope happens. They're
She's
just
like,
more gay.
You don't like this? You're gonna get full on penis and vagina action touching.
Either way, can't wait till next episodes. 2 episodes left, folks. And then
almost
you'll have to wait 3 years for season 3, which already has been announced. Catch House of the Dragon on HBO Max on every Sunday.
Hopefully, in between now and then, we get the start of Dunkin' Egg.
Oh, okay. Either way, great episode. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you if you sat through the whole 2 hours of this episode. Thank you.
My foot's asleep.
Yeah, Lane's like over here falling over because her
My
legs are
foot's
numb.
numb. Yeah.
Let us
You
know in the
guys are
comments.
troopers.
Hell yeah! Let us know in the comment section what you think so far. If you sat through the whole thing, let us know if you did. You can reach us on Discord at the Media Buff Guys. Comment, let us know if you have any episode ideas for the future and what you think of the show so far. And as always, hit that like button and subscribe if you're on my YouTube. If you're on Spotify, give us a like, give us a follow. Let us know what you think of this so far. As always, say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Adios, muchachos.